A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Ladies, you've heard a lot of interesting promises about wash day products recently, but today I promise you the wash day surprise of your life. A wash so dazzling clean you'll have to rub your eyes to believe it when you use Deep Cleaning Oxidol. Deep Cleaning Oxidol reaches deep down into fabrics and gets out the gray dirt left in clothes by the leading wash day suds, the leading shortcut suds. Now, this fact was demonstrated to women, and I'd like you to hear from a woman who attended the demonstration, Mrs. Richard Tucker of St. Bernard, Ohio. Listen.
In this washing demonstration, they used my clean clothes. At least I thought they were clean, because I had just washed them with the leading suds, doing your clothes too. Then they washed those clothes over again, this time with Deep Cleaning Oxidol. You should have seen the dirty wash water come out of those clothes I thought were clean. That dirty wash water showed me Oxidol really can get out the gray dirt left in clothes by those leading shortcut suds.
Thanks, Mrs. Tucker. And ladies, here's something we'd like you to try at home. Next wash day, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol and see for yourself how much dirt Oxidol can get out of your clothes. And look at the clothes themselves. When you use Deep Cleaning Oxidol, your clothes look sparkling white and bright, feel soft and fluffy. Smell sweet, too. Yes, your clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with Deep Cleaning Oxidol. Yet, Oxidol is really safe. Deep clean clothes stay brighter, new looking longer, so don't wash clothes with suds that leave dirt in. To get clothes deep clean, sparkling clean, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Ask your dealer for Oxidol today. And now, for Ma Perkins. Well, at last, Ma must stop defending the cousins. There's no doubt any longer that the cousins lied to her, or that they took Willie's and Evie's money. When we left Ma yesterday, she knew with a sinking heart that she must confront the cousins immediately and get to the bottom of their dubious activities. But there's somebody who feels good about all this. Yes, our old friend Shuffle. Right now, in the middle of the afternoon, we find Shuffle entering his apartment in Middleborough. He should be at business, but, well,
That you, Silver?
Yeah, Mary, it's Bill. And who's here in my house as the great big daddy bear? Marietta. And who's this here character? Why, every baby and then here. Okay, I'm glad to see you, too. Well, I don't mind you kissing a fella, but you don't have to kiss him so well. Sorry, Jason, you have your tail in your mouth and keep on twisting around like that.
Hi, Silver.
Hi, Barry. Huh?
Oh. Okay, folks. The afternoon snack is ready. Well, go get it. Well, you know where you eat. Out of your dish. Go on. Silver won't run away.
That little doggy gets more human every day. If I knew myself how to spell, I'd teach him how to spell. How are you, Marietta? I can see how cute you look, but do you also feel cute? Is life bubbling around inside of you like somebody turned on a spigot full of soda water?
Sure. I feel swell. My day off. And tonight I got a date with the Royal Northwest Montessori Force. So what's with you? You seem very happy about something.
Royal Northwest... Oh, you mean Officer Wiggins, our friend the policeman.
Uh-huh.
You got a date with him tonight, have you? Well, that's fine, Marietta. But when I tell you what's making me happy, you'll feel so happy it won't be just a date you got tonight. It'll be Christmas. It'll be your birthday. I come home early from the office to just tell you about it. I don't care if that boy at the love of yours gives away $10 bills for $5. I feel like it's my birthday.
But you don't keep me on pins and needles. Tell me. You were in West today, huh?
What? Yep. I was in Rushville Center. Wonderful place, Rushville Center. Fine people, fine houses. Even getting hit by a truck in Rushville Center would be a pleasure. Fine trucks we got there.
Now, you're not going to tell me that Mr. Sylvester P. Hammaker got hit by a truck, which it couldn't happen to a better person.
No, not yet, but he's going to. In fact, old Sylvester's going to get hit by 10 trucks. In fact, the roof's probably fell in on him already. I'll tell you everything. Now, you wait a minute. I want Damien and Pythias to hear this, too. Hey, Damien and Pythias, come in here. I want to tell you something. Yes, you come on now. Sit down, Marietta. This is going to be just wonderful.
That's wonderful already. Anything bad that happens to Sylvester P. Hammaker, it's good for the rest of the human race. Come on, Pete. You and me will sit down on the sofa while Uncle Sober tells us something real nice.
Damien and Pythias, you remember a no-good lowlife in Rushville Center named Sylvester P. Hammaker? Well, okay, you remember. Now, listen. Well, it's like this. Darnation, I just can't help laughing every time I think of it, Marietta.
Oh.
Coming home on the bus, why, they must have thought I was crazy or drunk or something. I just sat there laughing out loud. A lady sitting next to me, she got up and changed her seat. Well, you know, for some time now, it's been kind of an open secret that Ma's daughter, that's Evie Fitz, and her husband, Willis, they took their life savings out of the bank and they made some kind of an investment.
Yeah.
And there was reason to believe that they took this money and they give it to Mr. Cousin Sylvester Hammaker. Oh. Now, don't interrupt, Doggy. You share your sentiments. I got the floor now. Well, now, today, it's an open and shut case that if Cousin Sylvester gets his hands on somebody else's dollar bill, you might as well kiss that dollar bill goodbye.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at Cousin Sylvester. And you too, Marietta. But Ma and the folks, anyhow, Ma and Faye, they wasn't yet of that opinion.
You mean they're of that opinion now?
Don't hurry me. Listen how it come about. Ma and Faye asked Cousin Sylvester to his face if he knowed anything about Willie and Evie's investment.
Yeah.
Oh, no, says big fat old Sylvester. Why, I wouldn't dream of touching good old Evie and Willie's money. I don't know nothing about it.
Uh-huh.
And Ma and Faye, they went to ask Willie and Evie, but Cousin Sylvester got to Willie and Evie first, and they wouldn't answer no questions.
You mean Sylvester did have their money?
He certainly did, but nobody could prove it.
Oh.
He was lying to Ma and Faye, and there wasn't no way of proving that it was a lie. And then, when he asked Faye to marry him, why, it was more important than ever for Faye to find out. Was Cousin Sylvester a no-good who tells her lies, or was he a nice fellow?
You know, Faye ought to have her head examined, even letting him knock on her door. She's too innocent.
That's right. Faye's real innocent. But anyhow, that's the way matters stood. Until today. Because today we finally got the truth. We got it out of poor old Willie. Marietta, you know, Ma Perkins is the sweetest, the kindest, the nicest person in the whole world. But Ma Perkins don't like it when somebody's been telling lies to her.
And so now she's mad at Sylvester? Maybe she'll run him out of town.
Well, I don't rightly know what Ma's going to do, but I'd sure hate to be in Sylvester's shoes. Oh, Ma's real careful. When I left her today, she was still saying maybe we ought to hear Sylvester's side of it, too, but that's only Ma's way of being fair and square. And in the end, it's going to be even worse on Sylvester, because when Ma finishes learning the facts, Sylvester ain't going to have a leg to stand on.
That's right. And you get the other leg to bite, Peachy. So Ma Perkins is going to get the goods on Sylvester.
Hmm?
Gee, that's swell. But what does Sylvester do with the money? Just swipe it?
Well, stock. Certificate of stock. Stock in a mining company. The worst swindle I ever heard of a grown man falling for. The Little Giant Mining Company.
Oh, no.
And he told Willie some cock and bull story how the mine is full of atoms. Real important atoms.
Oh.
Each one with $20 wrote on it for Willie. Can you imagine that?
And Willie was sharp enough to fall for it?
Can you imagine? So that's the way matters stand. Sure. I'll sit down, too. Yeah, come on, jump in the arms, Dougie. Uncle Shuffle's a real happy man tonight.
Oh. So at last the day has come. Sylvester's been caught up with.
Yep.
Hey, Ma Perkins is sure to fire him from his job at the Perkins lumberyard. Don't you believe so, Sober?
Not only fire him, but fire his whole family. That smart aleck, no good popsy of his, too, Cousin Ed.
And Faye. Sylvester's all cleared with Faye, too. Don't you think so, Sober?
He's as clear as a $3 bill. His name is Mud with Little Faye.
Do you think maybe Ma even put him in jail?
No.
Because, I mean, if he swindled Willie and everywhere, it's like stealing. This country's got laws.
Well, I don't know if Ma put him in jail. Maybe for Cousin Benita's sake, Ma'd go easy on him. But Ma's sure going to make him give that money back. Ain't it wonderful, doggy? Don't it just make goose pimples of happiness chase up and down your spine?
He's falling asleep. Those new goose pimples of happiness, all right. Oh, so that's fine. I've waited for this day for a long time.
Me too, Marietta. You know, I ain't never thought of myself as a mean man. I don't really and truly believe that I am a mean man. I don't think no thoughts of how to get ahead of the next fella. Most of the time, I just kind of enjoy doing what I'm doing, whatever it might be. But when you stop to figure that here it is going into the end of the year, Labor Day's behind us, and ever since last Christmas, them cousins have been turning my hair snow white. Yep, today's a big day.
Sylvester and his daddy drove you out of your home, sir. Out of your hometown, out of your job. They've done terrible things to you.
Mm-hmm.
They done even worse things to you than Sylvester done to me. And what they done to Willie and Eddie Fitz. I mean, when it comes to downright stealing. Hey, listen. You think it would do any good if I called up Ma Perkins and said throw him in jail? I'll swear out the warrant myself. Hey, Silver, how about it, huh?
Well, that's a real lovely, generous sentiment, Marietta, but you just leave it to Ma Perkins. Ma is real slow to believe bad about anybody. Sometimes you can sit around and get so mad at Ma Perkins, she just don't say nothing. She don't do nothing. She just kind of goes along. But then there'll come a day. Just a day between one day and the next, and whammo, this, bang, punch.
The roof falls in on Sylvester.
Ain't it wonderful? Ain't it wonderful, doggy? Oh, tarnation, I ain't a mean man, but today's the happiest day of my life. After supper, I'll call up Ma Perkins and find out exactly what she done. Ladies, if you have a really big wash to do each wash day, you'll especially welcome deep cleaning Oxidol in the giant economy size package. For you'll find that this giant economy size Oxidol will do almost any family's wash for a whole month. Yes, just one giant economy size package of Oxidol can do a family's wash for a whole month. And what a wash you'll get with this deep cleaning Oxidol. A wash so sparkling clean you can see it's clean, feel it's clean, even smell it's clean. So for a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, ask your dealer for deep cleaning Oxidol today in the giant economy size package that does most any family's wash for a whole month. And so Shuffle thinks it's the happiest day in his life. But what has Ma done about the cousins? Well, that's what we learn tomorrow. But now this is Charlie Warren inviting you to listen again tomorrow to Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Same time, same station. For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. For 3 months, you've been tracking a pair of hold-up men. There's no pattern to their operation. They're young. They're brutal. Your job, stop them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, March 3rd. It was raining in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Harry Didion, captain of robbery. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from the neighborhood bakery shop, and it was 8:45 a.m. when I got to Collis Avenue. Number 4656.
Joe?
Yeah?
What happened? Wasn't the bakery open?
Oh, yeah, it was open. I got the stuff right here.
Oh, they have any raisin bread?
Yeah, right here.
How about the butterhorn?
No, they don't make those on Sundays anymore. I got bear claws instead.
Okay, well, let's get this stuff open.
Okay.
All right.
There we are.
Hmm. Where do you keep your eggs?
In the refrigerator, right over there.
Uh-huh.
Find them?
Yeah, I got 'em. You know, Joe, I don't like to say anything, but I can't keep coming over here to your place every morning.
Well, it was your idea. Nobody asked you.
Yeah, but I know how you are. You don't know how to cook a decent breakfast for yourself.
The coffee ready yet?
No, it's not Perkins yet. Hey, you sure there's nothing wrong with this pot? It's been on for 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, you forgot to plug it in.
Oh, uh-huh. Now, let's see.
Well, what do you want?
Well, better put the toast on.
You always make the toast before you cook the eggs?
Yeah.
You remember yesterday the toast was pretty cold.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I better hold off for a minute.
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs okay?
Well, we had them yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is that the only way you know how to fix them?
I know what you'd like. One of my Spanish omelets. When'd you say your mother was coming back?
Well, in about 3 more days.
Yeah, that'll make a week, won't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I guess I can work something out with Amy. Wife doesn't like me coming over here every morning like this.
Well, I told you before, I can make out all right here.
Oh, I know how it is. You think you're imposing. You'd be lost without your can opener.
Say, is this arm of the yours going to take very long? We haven't got very much time, you know.
I'll have it on your plate in a jiffy. What time are we supposed to see those victims?
9:30 at the county hospital.
Where's your tomatoes?
In the refrigerator.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah, 23 jobs in 3 months. Those guys really move, don't they?
Yeah. Nice tomatoes, Joe.
That Hollenbeck job last night. Vicious punks.
Yeah, there's no reason to work the old man over the way they did. What'd the doctor say?
Well, he's going to get over it all right, but they kicked out all of his front teeth. He's 50 years old.
Same M.O. Every job.
Aren't you going to peel those?
No, skins are good for you. Now, you got a nice big Bermuda? Bermuda onion.
Oh, yeah. I'll get you one.
Kid. 19, 20-year-old stick-up artist. Knock a man's senses for $50. Robbing, slugging, kicking their way around the city.
Yeah.
This'll be one bunch I'll be glad to catch up with.
Here's your onion.
Good.
Well, now, wait a minute. You're going to peel that, aren't you?
And lose half the flavor?
I don't know. I always peel them.
I see now. There now. Now, mix the whole works together.
You going to put it in that pan on the stove there?
Yes, sir.
Looks pretty hot, doesn't it? It's smoking.
Joe, that's the way you cook a Spanish omelet. Hot, fire, and fast. Now, into the pan. The whole trick in making a good Spanish omelet is you got to work fast.
Yeah. What are all those little brown flakes on the top there? Oh, the onion skins. No, I don't know. That doesn't look right to me.
Wait till you taste it.
I got it. Friday talking.
Elton Young, Joe. Romero there with you?
Yeah, he's here.
You two are supposed to see those robbery victims at the county hospital this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, at 9:30.
Well, cancel that out. Gonzalez and Powers are covering on that.
Yeah, how come?
Just got the call. South Grand and Colonial, 211 on slugging. Same description. Looks like the kid bandits.
All right, we'll get right on it.
It's a newsstand near the corner.
Right. Bye.
Look at that, Joe. I just took it out of the pan.
Yeah.
Best Spanish omelet I ever made.
That's too bad. We're not going to have time to eat it. 8:55 a.m. We left the house and drove to the scene of the holdup, one door from the corner of South Grand and Colonial Avenue. The victims were Mr. and Mrs. John Wilden, proprietors of a small newspaper and soft drink stand just off the intersection. Mrs. Wilden was being carried to a waiting ambulance when we got there. She was unconscious. From her forehead to her chin, her face was a swollen mass of welts. Her nose had been broken, and she had fractures of the jaw and cheekbone. Her husband, John Wilden, age 56, had a single bruise on his forehead over his left eye. We questioned him after the ambulance attendants gave him first aid. His description of the hold-up men tallied almost perfectly.
One was a redhead, other one had dark hair, both about the same height. I'd say they're as tall as you are, officer.
Matches, Joe. Kid bandit.
Yeah. Had you ever seen either one of these men before, Mr. Wilden, around the neighborhood, maybe?
No, never did. I don't know why they picked on Madeline and me for a hold-up. We've never been robbed before. We just got this little hole in the wall here. Don't see how it could look worthwhile to any crook.
You usually open up this early on Sunday morning?
Oh, yeah, Sunday's one of our big days. You see, we handle all the Sunday papers. You get our big trade from the people going to church up the street there. St. Joseph's?
Yes, sir, I see.
After the church lets out, most of the people head down this way and pick up the Sunday papers. We sell about 15, 20 papers after every Mass. It's a nice little business, you know. We close up after 12:15.
Well, when did the holdup take place? Can you remember that, sir?
Well, I'd say 8:30, a few minutes after. I went down to the Athens Cafe down the street there. I wanted to get some change. I left Madeline here to handle the counter. Madeline, that's my wife.
Yes, sir.
And when I got back, she wasn't behind the counter. I took a look behind here and saw our cash box laying on the cement there, empty, and I didn't know what to think.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do then?
Well, I pushed through this door here. It's a little dinky storeroom just back of the counter. It's where we keep our supplies, candy and soda water.
You mind if we take a look, sir?
No. Come right ahead. You see, when I came in, first thing I saw was Madeline. That's my wife. And she was lying there on the boards moaning, had her hands over her face. The two young fellows were standing over her, and both had guns.
Mm-hmm. What did they do when they saw you?
And they grabbed me and asked for money. I told them I didn't have any. I began to holler for help. One of them slugged me with his gun, and then they ran out. I'm still a little shaky. You mind if I sit down?
Go ahead, sir. Oh, here. Let me get this box for you.
Thank you.
Say, I wonder if we could get you some water, maybe a cold drink from the cooler.
Oh, no. But you'll find a half pint behind those cases over there, a little brandy I keep put away.
Over here?
Yes, that's right, behind those cases. I don't usually drink on Sundays. This is an exception, I guess.
Here you are, Mr. Wilden.
What's that on the floor there, Ben? No, near your foot there.
I see. Oh, the light's not very good. Oh, it's a book of matches.
Yeah. Are these yours, Mr. Wilden, these matches?
No, I don't carry them.
Well, your wife's, I guess, huh?
I don't think so. Neither one of us smoke.
What's that ad printed on the back here?
Big Ten Cafe, steaks, chopped short orders, open all night, West Pico. Do you handle cigarettes and cigars here, sir?
No, sir. Candy, soft drinks, newspapers, that's all.
Oh, inside of the matchbook cover, Joe. I'm scribbling on it.
George Bell, S. Cameron, 5th and Alameda. Do you recognize this at all, Mr. Wilden?
Big Ten Cafe. No, I've never been there.
Now, how about the names here, inside the cover?
George Bell, S. Cameron. No, I never heard of him.
Well, when you first came in here, Mr. Webber, do you remember where the hold-up men were standing?
Not too well. Well, one was over there, and one was over there, I think.
Could be, Joe. One of them might have dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Trace them from that matchbook? Do you think that's possible?
I don't know yet.
How would you trace them that way? Analysis? Some kind of scientific work?
No, sir. Legwork. 9:28 a.m. We called Latent Fingerprints. As soon as they arrived, we dropped Mr. Wilden off at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital to see his wife. Ben and I drove back to the office. We had the crime report typed up and got out a supplementary broadcast on our original APB. We asked Frank Cunningham and R&I to run the names George Bell and S. Cameron through the files for a possible mate. We checked with the restaurant advertised on the cover of the matchbook, the Big Ten Cafe. The manager of the cafe failed to recognize either the names on the matchbook or the descriptions of the hold-up men. 9:52. We checked back in at the office.
I'll get it. Robbery, Romero? Yeah, Frank. Yeah. Good, right. Thank you.
Cunningham?
You got a make on the name George Bell. Another one for Sam Cameron. Both of them run together. Got long juvenile record.
Good. You got an address on them?
Yeah. Won't be hard to run down.
What do you mean?
Main jail.
5 days before, George Bell, a laborer, and Samuel Cameron, a part-time jewelry salesman, had been booked at the main jail on charges of being drunk and disorderly. The day after his arrest, Cameron was bailed out. Bell was still in the drunk tank. Ben and I went down to the main jail and talked to him. He didn't fit the description of either of the bandits. He was very cooperative, but he stated that he'd been very drunk and he couldn't remember too much.
Just don't know, Sergeant. Sam and I went out and tied one on. When it came to, we were here in the drunk tank.
You have no idea at all how your names got on this matchbook.
I'm trying to think. We're pretty well heated up, Sam and me. That's another thing, that dirty Sam.
What do you mean?
He gets a friend of his to come up here and bail him out. Think he'd do anything for me? No. I bought the liquor. He lets me sit here now. Dirty Sam.
You think he might remember about that matchbook?
I don't know. I'm disgusted with him. If you see him, you can tell him that. Just let him know he's off my list.
How about the address here on the matchbook, George? It says 5th and Alameda. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Were you and Cameron hitting some of the spots around that area?
No, we were messing around over in Dogtown. Didn't get down by Alameda at all.
Well, it must have some tie-in for you. 5th and Alameda?
No. Only guy I know down there is Sanchez. Wait a minute.
Yeah?
Just a minute. Sanchez. Gus Sanchez, sure. I wanted to see Gus. I thought he'd put up bail for us.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got it now. I think I have anyway. It was the morning after, and I woke up here in the tank. Oh, a big head, you know. Really whipped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first thing I thought was out. I figured Gus Sanchez might pop for bail. A friend of mine, you know. Gus works at the bar at 5th and Alameda. That's it.
Well, how's it tie in?
This other mooch is in the tank next to me. Somebody's popped bail for him, and he's getting out in an hour. So I asked him to call Gus for me, and he said he would. He wrote my name down, and he wrote down Sam's, too. Dirty Sam. And he took down Gus's address. Yeah, 5th and Alameda.
You remember what this man looked like when he took your name?
Oh, let's see. No, everything was going around. He's kind of tall, I don't know.
Would you remember him if you saw him again?
Guy did me a favor. I'd remember him. Not like that dirty Sam.
Well, how about his name? Did he tell you that?
No, I didn't ask him. I should have, huh?
You sure about the day this man was released?
Positive. The same day I came in, Tuesday.
Well, okay, Bell. Thanks very much. We'll be checking back with you.
Yeah, all right. Hey, what about this guy? You got to pay for them?
Well, maybe if he's the one we want.
Yeah, what'd he do?
He lost his matches. Ben and I left the drunk tank and went down the hall to check with the officer in charge. We paged through the release book and found that 7 men had been bailed out or discharged from the jail on the previous Tuesday. We went back to the record bureau and had them pull the mug shots on all 7 men. Then we took the pictures back to the drunk tank and showed them to George Bell.
No. Yeah, this one, I think. Can't be sure. I think that's him.
George Bell had tentatively identified the mugshot of a Fred Gunther, WMA, 21 years old. Gunther had a previous record of grand theft auto, purse snatching, and drunk charges. His picture matched closely with the description of one of the suspects. 4 a.m., we contacted the Kid Bandit's most recent victim, John Wilden, at his home. We asked him to look at the same group of mugshots that we'd shown to George Bell.
Here, this here. He's one of them.
You sure, Mr. Wilden?
He's the one who slugged me. Who is he?
His name's Fred Gunther.
Oh, then you know him. You want me to identify him?
Yes, sir, when we find him.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. Now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Monday, March 4th, 9 a.m. We checked out the suspect, Fred Gunther. No trace of him at any of his previous addresses. We began checking with the other victims of the Kid Bandits. After a day and a half of legwork, we sat down and figured up the results. More than two-thirds of the victims definitely tabbed Gunther as one of the hold-up men. The next step was the Record Bureau. We had them pull the packages on every one of Gunther's known friends and associates. There were more than 30 of them. We had mugshots pulled on each one of them and made the rounds of the victims for the second time. Approximately half of the victims had singled out one picture as that of Gunther's partner in the hold-ups. We pulled the package on the man and checked his marmor sheet. His name was Harold Reimers, WMA, age 19. Previous record included car stripping and one charge ADW, no conviction. Friday, March 8th. We continued our check of the friends and associates known to the two suspects, Gunther and Reimers. We got nowhere. 2 weeks passed. On March 23rd, we got a tip from an informant about a girlfriend of Fred Gunther's, a vocalist working at a downtown dance hall during intermissions.
Long haul.
Yeah, one more flight.
Climb 4 flights of stairs and then they expect you to dance.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is it. Yeah, come on.
Big enough floor, huh?
Well, it shows a little wear. The place has been here for years.
Look at those walls and that ceiling. Sure could use a fresh coat of paint.
Is her name Stanley? Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Excuse me? Is your name Lorraine Stanley?
Yeah, that's right. Sweet Lorraine, that's my billing. You with the band?
No, we're police officers. I'd like to talk to you for a minute if we can.
Oh, sure, all right. I was just rehearsing a little. What's it about, officer?
Do you know a Fred Gunther, Miss Stanley?
Fred? Yeah, I know him. I used to be engaged to Fred.
You happen to know where he is now?
No, I don't. Guess I haven't heard from him in 3-4 months. Usually looks me up when I'm in town. Maybe he's sore about something, I don't know.
Has he contacted you at all?
Not since I got back from Bakersfield a month ago. I played 32 weeks in Bakersfield, the Ramble Inn. Sure hated to leave, nice place.
Where does Gunther stay in town? Do you happen to know that?
Used to be that hotel on South Flower. Called him there, but they said he moved. Used to like Fred a lot. Not enough to marry him, though.
Do you have any idea where he might have gone, where we could contact him?
No, I really don't. Nothing wrong, is there, about Fred, I mean?
No, it's just a routine investigation. We'd like to talk to him.
What's it about? Can you tell me?
It's a robbery investigation. We want to locate Gunther. Do you happen to know any of his friends here in the city?
No. Maybe that's why he didn't call. He's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Robbery? Is that it?
Well, we just like to talk to him, that's all.
Well, if he's done something wrong, I'm not going to hide him. I can't afford to get mixed up in it. I've got a career to think about. I've worked too hard to throw it away.
Well, how about the places Gunther usually visits, Miss Stanley? Bars, restaurants. You know any of those?
No, I remember a few. I can give you the names if you like. Poor Fred. I hope he didn't do it for me.
Ma'am?
Well, Fred says he's in love with me. I don't know. He thinks I want money. Maybe that's why he's doing it. I told him, but he never believed me. All I want is my career.
Well, do you think that Gunther might come around here to see you?
Probably. He usually does when I'm in town.
How about where you're living?
I'm staying at a different hotel this trip. He doesn't know where he is. Poor Fred. He's going to be awfully disappointed.
Hmm? How do you mean?
Oh, he said he was going to get money and buy a ring. He's going to marry me this time. Poor Fred. This is my new theme, officers. You like it?
Just one more thing, Miss Stanley. If Gunther contacts you by phone, will you be sure and let us know?
All right, I'll do that. Sure, beautiful theme, isn't it? Piano player in Bakersfield, he wrote it for me. Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Fred understands. I don't want to hurt him, but I can't marry him. How do I make him understand? How do I explain it?
I don't think you'll have to, ma'am. Before we left Lorraine Stanley, we told her that if Gunther should contact her, not to tell him that she'd talked with us. Stakeouts were placed on the dance hall where she worked and at the hotel where she was staying. Gunther's known hangouts were also covered. The next night, the Kid Bandits were back in business. They hit twice, a liquor store on Franklin Avenue and a tavern on South Flower. Gunther and Reimers were again identified as the two suspects. The stakeouts continued. The search went on. 4 days later, we got a tip from the proprietor of a shoe shine stand on West Temple that Gunther's partner, Harold Reimers, had been seen entering a small hotel up the street from his stand. We drove over and checked with the desk clerk. He identified Reimers' mugshot. He told us that the suspect wasn't in, but that he was expected back that night. Ben and I went on stakeout in his hotel room. 7 p.m. Reimers failed to show.
Getting a little hungry, Joe. You?
Yeah. What time you got now?
20 after 7. Stomach's starting to growl. And what's that, a parade?
Well, I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, it's the Salvation Army Band.
Oh, yeah, Saturday night. Might as well check the office, huh? See if we can't get a relief.
Yeah.
Would you get me Michigan 5211, please? Michigan 5211. Yeah, we'll pay for it, thanks. Would you close the window, George? A little noise.
Yeah, okay.
Robbery, please. Yeah, Young, this is Romero. How's that? You sure? Okay, thank you. Gunther and Reimers, they pulled a hold-up down South Main.
When?
20 minutes ago. Gunther got away.
Yeah.
They got Reimers.
7:45 p.m. Ben and I got back to the city hall and went to the interrogation room. Together with Young and Carr from robbery, we tried to question the suspect, Harold Reimers. We talked to him for over an hour. He refused to tell us anything. We took him to the main jail where he was booked on 211 PC. 9:15 p.m. We went back to the office.
I'll get it. Robbery, Romero. In just a minute. For you, Joe.
Okay, thanks. Friday talking.
Sergeant, this is Lorraine Stanley.
Yeah, Miss Stanley.
I'm over at work. The dance hall, you remember?
Yes, ma'am. Anything wrong?
Well, Fred just called me, Sergeant. I told the officers here. Fred Gunther?
Yes, ma'am. Where is he? Did he say?
No, all he said was he wanted to see me.
Yeah?
He said he was coming right over.
9:25 p.m. We called the men on stakeout at the dance hall and alerted them. Elton Young, Ben, and I got in the car and drove over. We checked with the detail on stakeout. Gunther hadn't been spotted, but because of the large crowd entering and leaving the dance hall, it was possible that he could have gotten in unnoticed. We talked to the Stanley girl. She hadn't seen or heard anything further from the suspect. Ben and I staked out in her dressing room where Gunther said he'd meet the girl. It was a small converted storeroom at one end of the dance floor, just behind the bandstand. Lorraine Stanley was on during the intermission. We waited.
What have you got, Joe?
Almost 10:30.
This guy must feel pretty sure of himself. He pulls a robbery, he's almost picked up, and 3 hours later he makes a date to show in a public play.
No, he hasn't shown yet. I'm not too sure about that Stanley girl.
How do you mean?
Well, if she's that big an attraction for him. This is the only way out, huh? Besides that fire escape off the alley.
Yeah, Young's covering the alley.
Come on.
Down here, Joe! He got by me. He's up the alley behind one of those trucks.
He can't go far. That's a dead end.
Stay here, Young, and cut him off.
You all right?
Yeah, he slugged me, knocked me down. I didn't see him in the dark.
Come on, Ben.
Yeah.
Easy, huh?
Sure dark.
Yeah.
Watch it behind that truck! Hey, Crew, I'm coming out!
Watch it, Joe! Missed him.
Coming at you, Young!
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! All right, stand still.
You want to stay with him, Young? We'll call in.
Yeah, right.
Closest place, that little cafe off the alley to the left. Thanks. Come on, Ben.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I guess they got a phone inside. Come on.
Wait a minute. As soon as we get Gunter downtown, we're going to come right back here.
What for?
Take a look at that fry cook in the window there.
Yeah, what about it?
That fella makes a Spanish omelet exactly like I do.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 19th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, if you're a long cigarette smoker like I am, remember, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Now, believe me, this difference is mighty important. So important that you'll always remember the first pack of Fatimas that you buy. Fatima's fast-growing popularity backs me up on that. But look, you can prove it to yourself by getting a pack of Fatimas tomorrow. You'll find that they now cost the same as other long cigarettes. And your first pack will convince you to go right on smoking them. Join me and the new thousands who enjoy Fatima's extra mildness, Fatima's rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll discover what all we Fatima smokers know. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Fred Gunther and Harold Reimers were tried and convicted on several counts of robbery and assault. They received sentences as prescribed by law, and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next, with stories of today on NBC.
Like anyone else, Van Barclay gave little thought to the precarious nature of everyday living. Had he had occasion to probe the fact, he might have acknowledged that danger is always present and that it can strike quite suddenly. Only Van Barclay wasn't thinking about such things. Perhaps he was too restless to care. A young engineer, unmarried, can get restless. Working in a new, strange city, he can get lonesome, too. Van Barclay was one or the other, or both of these things on a Saturday night, that he came out of a movie and went for a stroll along the Santa Monica Palisades in preference to going back to his hotel room. On a corner, he stopped to light a cigarette. That's when he first noticed it. The car was big, a Nash convertible. It cruised by him, came back around the block, moving slow. The third time around, he was standing on the curb, staring openly at the girl behind the wheel. She was very nice. Young, blonde, considerably more than attractive. And she was looking at him just as obvious.
Hello.
Hello.
You've opened a door before, no doubt.
In other words, isn't it a beautiful night for a drive?
Well, Isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You weren't going somewhere important.
No, not at the moment. In fact, I was faced with a rather gloomy prospect of an evening at a hotel alone. And it is a beautiful night for a drive. I suppose it was on the golf course at Biarritz,
What?
where we met.
That's as good a place as any.
Yes, only I've never been there. But I have a good imagination. And then, I remember so well those evenings at Monte Carlo when you'd say to me, Van, you must sit beside me at the casino tonight. You bring me luck. You called me Van in those days, remember? Never Mr. Barclay. And I used to call you, what was it I used to call you?
It might have been darling, mightn't it?
Yes, might have been at that. Or maybe the mystery woman, huh? Beautiful, fascinating, and unpredictable. Especially unpredictable.
Oh, that's not very flattering, Mr. Barkley. You might have said, especially beautiful.
Yeah, I might have, and meant it. Okay, you win. You're not only beautiful and fascinating and unpredictable, but you're too fast a worker for me. How come?
How come what?
All this.
You're not happy about taking a drive with me, Mr. Barkley?
I'm delirious. But why me? What I got?
Well, you're not unattractive, you know.
Yeah, but baby, you never saw me before. How do you know what I'm like?
Perhaps I like to take chances.
Didn't your mother ever warn you about picking up strange men on the street?
My mother was rather unusual, Mr. Barkley. She taught me that when I wanted something, there was only one thing to do. Get out and find it.
Okay, who's kicking? You'll pardon me if I pinch myself. This is something I wouldn't have believed. Sort of like an angel from heaven dropping in your lap.
Oh, I'm no angel, Mr. Barkley. Would you like a drink?
You're driving.
Then come on, we'll go in.
This is the swankiest roadhouse I ever saw.
Oh, it's not a roadhouse. I live here. Come on.
Not a bad little place to hang your hat.
Hang it, then. We like it here.
Probably have 2 or 3 scattered around the country.
Oh, no. Just a cabin at Lake Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gather you're not worrying much about any wolves howling at your door.
Not that kind, anyway.
The guy that owns this place must be a movie producer. Your father?
My father. And he's not a movie producer, just an art collector. Perhaps you'd like to take a look around. We have some very nice paintings scattered all over the house.
You think we can find our way without a guide?
There's no one else here, if that's what you mean. We only have one servant now. This is her night off.
Cozy, isn't it? The whole place to ourselves, all 50 rooms.
Oh, it's not that bad. We'll take a look as soon as we have that drink I promised you.
You feel like pinching yourself, don't you, Ben? This is the kind of thing that just doesn't happen. But it's real. She's real. And she's even more attractive than she looked in the car. And it isn't the cocktails you've had. Finally, she leads you into the library.
Like this room, Ben?
Very much. Always wanted something like this.
The right sort of library is good for a man. I designed this myself.
Mm-hmm. Even no interior decorating, huh? You're, pretty complete.
Thank you. Then, fix yourself another drink. The decanter is over there. I'll be right back.
Take your time. This is all very pleasant.
You fix another drink, sink into a big leather chair and relax. When you open your eyes a few minutes later, she's back, smiling down at you.
Hello.
Hello again. Oh, I see your glass is empty. Well, that's easily remedied. I'll pour you another one.
Yeah, this is nice work, if you can get it.
Here you are.
Thank you. Nice perfume you're wearing.
Like it?
I like everything about you.
Good. Then you won't mind doing something for me, will you?
Anything, short of murder.
Walk over here.
To the closet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, open the door. There's something I want you to see.
Okay. I'll play games with you. Hey, I thought you said we were alone.
We are, Mr. Barkley. Because, you see, the gentleman in the closet is quite dead.
It's a great deal more than you bargained for, isn't it, Ben? Yes. When you stepped into the car at the invitation of the beautiful blonde, you didn't realize what kind of a ride was ahead. It was like a dream, wasn't it? Going to her home, having cocktails and relaxing. And then in the library, you looked into the closet. Fantastic, Ben. Your mind spins, almost unable to cope with the situation, as you stare down at the quiet figure of a dead man on the floor of the closet. You scarcely hear the girl beside you.
You'll help me, won't you?
What'd you say?
All you have to do is help me hide him permanently.
Now, wait a
There's
minute.
a place out in the garden where some newly turned earth wouldn't be noticed, but I'm not much good at digging graves.
Baby. You can count me out. I don't know how this guy happens to have a hole in his head, and I'm not asking any questions, but just count me out on any part of his
You
deal.
said you'd do anything for me.
Yeah, but I don't go off the deep end for anybody, especially for a girl who's in the habit of keeping dead bodies lying around. No, lady. Pardon me. Well, I'll be seeing you.
I think you'd better wait, Mr. Barkley.
Oh. Yeah. I see what you mean. I see you're wearing a gun, too.
Uh-huh. And I assure you I know how to use it.
How can I doubt that, with the evidence staring me in the face?
Good. Then if you'll just pick up our late departed friend and come with me, I'll show you the place.
You know that business about your being no angel? I'm just about convinced.
You carry the body downstairs as she demands and go out into the garden.
There's a shovel. Start digging. Like I said, dig it big.
Sounds like a beach near here.
The back of the yard drops off to the beach. But never mind, you've got other things to do. Dig deep and wide.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, baby.
A heavy shovel full of dirt in her face knocks her off her feet. At the same time, you're leaping clear, racing for the drop-off at the back of the property. It's a wild, frightening scramble down through the rock and brush until you hit the beach, running hard. There are no shots, no footsteps. You're away, Van. Free. Far down the beach, you work your way back up to the highway, catch the bus for town in the safety of your hotel room. You're too upset to decide what to do that night. You want to call the police, but the memory of that blonde hair and those pale blue eyes stops you. You want to be sure before doing anything that will send her to the gas chamber. You turn in without deciding. Next morning, when you go downstairs, the desk clerk hands you something.
Good morning, Mr. Barkley.
Morning. What's this?
A young lady left it late last night.
Well, there's nothing written on the envelope.
She just told me to put it in your box.
Oh, well, thanks.
That looks awful green.
Yeah, $100 bill.
And no note, no nothing?
No.
I wish I knew your secret, Mr. Barkley.
You'd like to know that secret yourself, wouldn't you, Van? Now more than ever. $100 to pay for your silence. And probably a chance at more if you live up to the bargain. But there's also a chance to play it smart, isn't there? If you can find out more about this girl, her name, what's behind it all. You catch the bus again, and as you approach the big house, there seems to be quite a few people around. At the gas station on the corner, you find out why.
All set, Mr. Armstrong. Anything else?
That's all, Joe. Thanks.
Hi there. What can I do for you, mister? Run out of gas or something?
No, I was just walking, and I saw there was some kind of excitement around here.
Yeah, more than we've had in a long time. They found a body down on the beach this morning.
Oh? Somebody drowned?
Maybe so. But he got a bullet hole through his forehead first.
Oh, murder, huh?
Yeah, looks that way. Guy named Alfred Hamilton. Lived right up the street.
Over in that house?
Ridgely's? Oh, no. He used to be over there a lot, but he didn't live there.
Well, I noticed that there was a police car out in front.
No, that's part of the excitement. Not only is this friend of the Ridgely's bumped off, but Doris is missing.
Doris?
Yeah, Doris Ridgely. Mr. Ridgely's daughter.
Oh, that's Ridgely, the art collector?
Sure, you know. He's about the richest person in the neighborhood. Nice man, too.
Mm-hmm. And Doris, his daughter. I remember. I've seen her. She's a blonde, isn't she? Good looking?
That isn't the word for that girl. She's a peach, and she's beautiful.
Yes, but rather hard and spoiled.
Doris? No. Why, there isn't a nicer girl in town. And I ought to know. I've been taking care of her car ever since she started to drive. I sure hate to see her mixed up in anything like this. And missing, too. Why, she might be in the ocean herself, only her car is gone, too.
They think she murdered this guy, Hamilton?
I don't know. But if you ask me, she couldn't have. She's too regular. And if she did, she had a good reason. Hamilton was no good. I never could understand why Doris and old man Ridgely put up with him.
There's just the two of them live there, huh?
Yeah, Mrs. Ridgely died a while back. Gosh, I hope they find the girl okay. He'd just about kill the old man if anything happened to her.
Yeah. When was this guy murdered?
Last night. And I can tell you exactly when. 10 minutes to 8 on the nose.
Oh? How can you be sure?
Because I heard the shot. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but I did notice what time it was, because I was just getting ready to close up.
Did you tell the police that?
Sure.
Where did the shot come from?
How should I know? It was just a noise. Maybe from the house over there, maybe from the beach where they found him.
Well, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Hey, say, who are you anyway?
Nobody important. So long.
As you walk away, you feel sure about one thing. That Doris didn't murder Hamilton at all. She was covering for somebody else, wasn't she, Van? And you've got to find her and bring her back. But where is she? Suddenly it hits you. The cabin she mentioned. Yes, at Anderson Lake. You decide quickly, Van. Next stop, Anderson Lake.
Hello there, young fella. What can I do for you? Got everything here a body needs. Groceries, notions, drugs, fishing, tackle.
Oh, no, I was looking for somebody, Pop. Thought maybe you could give me directions.
Well, I'm the person to come to. Can tell you about anybody in Anderson Lake. And who you're looking for.
Doris Ridgely? She's got a cabin up here, hasn't she?
Yep.
Well, how do I get there?
You don't.
Huh? Why not?
Wouldn't do you no good.
Why not?
Nobody there.
But I'm sure Doris is up here, and I've got to find her.
Well, if you got eyes in your head, you wouldn't have to go to no cabin.
Huh?
If you look across the street over there, you'll see her car in front of Jake's Cafe. She's eating inside.
Okay. Thanks, Pop.
She's in Jake's Cafe. And you wait outside until she comes out. As she gets into the convertible, you slip around the other side and open the door.
Hello, baby. It's a nice day for a drive, isn't it?
Mr. Barkley.
Don't reach for your bag. I'll take it instead. I'll take a look inside, too. Yeah, just as I thought, the gun. You still got it. Well, I'll just keep it this time, if you don't mind.
Look, Mr. Barkley.
Now, just a minute. I'll do the talking this time. First, I'll give this back to you. Even if I had a price for this sort of thing, it wouldn't be $100.
It's all I had last night.
I said even if I had a price. I don't. I'll keep my mouth shut until I'm ready to talk. Or you are.
What makes you think I have anything to talk about?
Now, look, I think I know a good kid when I see one. If you're really in trouble, I'm sorry. But I don't think you are. I don't think you killed this heel, Hamilton. I think you're covering up for somebody.
No, I'm not. I killed him. He was threatening me. Threatening to tell something about me, and I killed him.
I don't believe you. All you did was try to get me to help cover up somebody else's work.
No, that's not true.
Okay, so you're not ready to talk yet. Come on, let's go for a drive.
Well...
You know, I'm sorry I had to smother you with that shovel full of dirt last night. But I didn't like the prospect of sharing that hole in the ground with Hamilton.
You mean you thought I'd... Oh, no, I never intended to do that.
Well, how'd you think you'd get away with it then? Just let me walk away to tell the cops?
I don't know.
Okay, baby, keep your chin up. Of course you don't know. You were mixed up in something you knew nothing about. Now, you couldn't have killed this guy, Hamilton, any more than you could have killed me. So, come on. Come clean.
I can't.
All right, now look, whoever this is you're covering up for, they'll be found out eventually. Probably they had a good reason for doing this, from what I hear about Hamilton. But now you've got to get yourself off the spot, and me too. We're accessories to the murder.
Yes, I know. Look, why are you doing this? Why did you come here?
I'll show you why. Does that answer your question? No talking now. Come on, start driving. We got to have a little talk with the police.
Well, Van, you found her, and she's grateful. You can see that. The way she smiles at you weakly, wonderingly. And perhaps later, when it's all over, you can pick up the dream where it left off. You think about it, you drive back to the city with her. Then, as she swings the big convertible into San Vicente Boulevard, he suddenly slams on the brakes beside a police squad car.
Hey, what's the idea, baby? We don't want a squad car. We want to go to police headquarters.
Officer, arrest this man. He's wanted for murder. And be careful. He's got a gun.
You can't believe it's happening, can you, Van? But it is. And later at police headquarters, your dream is turned into a nightmare as Doris pours out a wild story to the chief of the Homicide Bureau.
Yes, they were both at my house last night. They left together. Then I heard a shot. When I went out looking, I found Mr. Barkley standing over Hamilton's body down on the beach. He'd taken his wallet.
What?
You'll find it in his pocket right now. The officer here already has the murder gun.
Are you kidding? Why, I haven't any wallet. I don't have a...
Easy now. Well, seems you do have a wallet, Mr.
You
Barkley.
see, Sergeant?
Yeah, but she put it there. She slipped it in my pocket while we were driving.
This is Hamilton's wallet, and this is the same caliber gun that killed him, Barkley.
But I tell you, I didn't kill him. It's all a lie.
Oh, hello, Mr. Ridgely. Thanks for coming right over.
The lad's right, Sergeant. He didn't kill him.
Dad.
It's no use, Doris. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you can't protect me.
Dad, please don't say anything.
I said it's no use, dear. You can release him, Sergeant. This young man and my daughter. I killed Hamilton. He was no good. I shot and killed him.
The surprises are hitting you like punches from a fighter, aren't they, Van? The attempted frame against you by Doris. And now, out of the blue, her father, facing the police, admitting that he killed Hamilton. You stare from one to the other, wondering and waiting. And then Doris breaks the silence.
But, Dad, you couldn't have killed Hamilton.
Why couldn't he? He just confessed. That's good enough for me.
He confessed to protect me. Dad had no reason.
He could have had the best reason in the world, blackmail. That was Hamilton's racket.
Blackmail?
That's the answer, Doris. Hamilton had been bleeding me for a long time. But a few days ago, I got the evidence to clear myself and expose him.
So you sent for him and told him. He got tough and...
I shot him. I had to. In self-defense.
Oh, look, officer, you found the gun in Hamilton's wallet on this man right here. What more do you want?
I tell you, I never saw this girl in my life until last night.
It's no use, Doris. It happened exactly as I said.
No, Dad, I know you didn't do it.
There's only one way you could know, Miss Ridgely.
Yes, Sergeant. There's only one way I could know.
I tell you, my daughter is lying.
Mr. Ridgely is right, Sergeant.
Oh, hello, Lieutenant. Find anything?
Plenty. His daughter's lying to protect him. We know from the gas station attendant's testimony that the shot that killed Hamilton was fired last night at 10 minutes to 8. We've checked every move of Miss Ridgely's, and at 10 minutes of 8, she was seen buying a pack of cigarettes at the corner drugstore.
Then it was Mr. Ridgely.
Mr. Ridgely left Hamilton in his living room last night somewhere around 7 o'clock. Probably after telling him he was going to expose him to the police. At 10 minutes to 8, Mr. Ridgely was seen having a drink at the Sea House.
So, Barkley, you did take Hamilton's wallet. It was your gun.
I tell you, I never even heard of any of these people.
It wasn't young Romeo here either.
And who?
Alfred Hamilton committed suicide.
Suicide?
That's right. There's no doubt about it. Powder burns on his face. He was left-handed. The angle of the bullet in the left temple shows the wound was self-inflicted. Hand tests prove beyond a doubt that Hamilton fired a shot a few seconds before his death. I guess when he realized Mr. Ridgely was going to expose him to the police, he just couldn't take it. Now, Mr. Ridgely, if you'll come into my office a minute, I'll show you the reports.
Dad, we'll wait in the car.
I'll be along in a minute, Doris.
Well, baby, you gave me a nice ride. A very nice ride.
Oh, honestly, Van, I'm terribly sorry, but I was worried crazy about Dad. Van, do you think we could have that drink again? Sometime, maybe?
Oh, look, you're a nice kid. You're beautiful, fascinating, all those things, especially beautiful. But, baby, if you ever see me walking down the street again, just go on by. Please.
Featured in tonight's story were Jack Webb and Joan Banks. The Whistler was produced and directed by George W. Allen, with story by Hazel Lytle and John Dunkel, music by Wilbur Hatch, and was transmitted to our troops overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to narcotics detail. A band of dope peddlers launches a full-scale operation in your city. Their merchandise, marijuana. Their victims, high school students. Your job, get them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, April 11th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of narcotics detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Kearney. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from R&I, and it was 10:25 a.m. when I got to Central Station. Narcotics detail.
Joe?
Hi. What'd you find out?
Talked to the coroner. He finished posting the body.
Yeah.
Cause of death, multiple fractures of the skull, internal injuries. Boy was 17 years old.
Yeah.
You checked the car?
Yeah, the kid must have been doing at least 70 when he hit that street light. It's a real mess. The car was really wound around that pole.
We're going to have to dig up a fast answer somewhere. Lousy racket.
Well, there's only one way to burn it out. Find the big man and throw the book at him. Make him an example he'll never forget, huh?
You checked with Juvenile Bureau?
Yeah, the evidence has been booked with the property clerk. How about the boy's parents?
Mrs. Moore wasn't feeling too well. They drove her home. Father's still down the hall, Inspector Walker's office.
Can we talk to him now?
Yeah, he should be free by now. Let me check the book first.
I already did. There's no calls.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. You know, there's only one thing fortunate about this whole thing.
What do you mean?
Well, the kid being alone when he cracked up would have been a slaughter if he had a car full of his friends with him.
It's still pretty grim.
How's the boy's father taking it?
Usual, pretty rough. He should be able to help some.
Yeah.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, Sergeant. Inspector asked me to wait here for you.
Yes, sir. This is my partner, Sergeant Friday. Mr. Moore, Joe.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Friday. I just don't understand it, Sergeant. I don't understand any of it. My boy Ken wasn't the type to go racing around like that in the car. He never took the car without my permission. I just don't know what got into it.
Had you noticed at all whether your boy was acting a little strange the last few weeks or so?
No. Of course, I only saw Ken in the morning, a few hours in the evening. I'm at the office all day. Why do you ask that?
Well, was he going out very often on school nights, or keeping odd or unusual hours?
We used to go to the library 3 or 4 nights a week to do his schoolwork. Got home about midnight a few times, and I warned him about that.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any way of knowing if he was really spending his nights at the library?
No, but I took his word for it. Ken didn't lie to me. What's this have to do with the auto accident, Sergeant? I don't think I understand.
The officer's investigating the accident, sir. They checked over the car afterward.
What was it? Were the brakes bad? What'd they find?
Bill?
Yeah. So you see this small metal case? We found it in the front seat on the floor of the car.
What's that stuff inside? Did this belong to Ken?
Yes, sir. We think he was using it.
What for?
I don't know. It's marijuana. Men and women who traffic in narcotics all the way from the small-time peddler to the big wholesaler are rated among the lowest kind of criminal. One step lower, you find an even more vicious kind. those who lure youngsters into the deadly trap of narcotics, who feed on the nickels and dimes by supplying their young victims with dope. The death of 17-year-old Kenneth Morrow was the second of its kind within 8 months. It seemed to stem from unidentified suspects who were making it their business to build a thriving marijuana trade among high school students. Thursday, 11 a.m. We continued to question the dead boy's father, Thomas Morrow, but he couldn't tell us anything further that might help. Friday, April 12th. We checked with the principal of the high school which the Morrow boy attended. We talked to the boy's teachers and checked his school record. His marks had been above average till about 3 months before, when they began to fall off for no apparent reason. We got a list of most of the boy's friends from his teachers, and we started checking them out. One was a 16-year-old blonde girl, Peggy Kane, supposedly Kenneth Morrow's girlfriend. We found her waiting outside the music room.
Yes, Ken and I went around together for a while. He was a real nice boy.
Did you see each other quite a bit, Peggy?
Oh, for about 5 or 6 months, yes, we got along fine. Just after Christmas was the last time I went out with him, and we double dated.
Mm-hmm. Did he seem all right to you then? I mean, did he act different at all?
Well, a little different, yes. Not silly, you know. He just wasn't like he used to be.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, he didn't talk the same. Ken was a real nice boy most of the time. I guess he started getting in with the wrong crowd. He began to swear, you know, bad talk, things like that.
When did all this start, Peggy? Do you remember?
Just before Christmas, I think. I'm not sure. Poor Ken.
Is there anything else you might have noticed?
I don't know. Ken used to be pretty good about his studies, and all of a sudden it seemed he just didn't care. Sometimes he'd come into the library. We used to study there. And he'd make a lot of noise. He just changed, that's all. For a while, we didn't see each other there anymore.
Well, why was that, Peggy?
We just didn't come down. I called his house a couple of times. His folks said he was at the library. I didn't say anything to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, did Ken have many friends here at school? Do you know that?
Not many, no.
I see. Well, those he did have, who would you say was closer to him?
Oh, gee, I don't know, Sergeant. There were half a dozen of them. Ken used to be with all of them.
No one boy in particular?
Well, Bob Lavelle, maybe. I saw Ken in Bob's car a few times.
Does Lavelle go to school here?
Yes, he's a senior. Ken used to work with Bob down in the cafeteria after school, but he got in a mix-up. He was fired.
Bob was fired?
No, Ken.
Oh.
He was rude to one of the ladies down there who does the cooking. Bob still works there.
Would he be at the cafeteria now, do you know?
Yes, I think so. The fountain's open till about 3:30.
And you think that this Bob Lavelle was about the closest friend that Ken had, huh?
I think so. The only one I know, anyway. Have you talked to Ken's folks?
Yeah, we have.
I feel so sorry for him. Gee, I think I have to go now, Sergeant. I have a chemistry class.
Just one more question, Peggy. Last time you went out with Ken on this double date, who was the other couple? Do you remember?
I don't remember their names. They were some kids I never saw before. Ken knew them. It wasn't much of a date.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go?
We started for the show, but Ken changed his mind. He wanted to go to the beach and park. He was acting funny, talking all the time, saying silly things. The other boy was the same way.
Oh, were they drinking?
No, I never saw Ken take a drink. I couldn't smell any liquor on his breath. I don't know. It was such a silly thing.
What's that?
Well, maybe it's just my imagination, but Ken and this other boy had a real terrible musty smell about them. I kidded them about it, and they said they'd been to a tea party. That's where they got it. They kept talking silly like that all evening.
I see. Was the musty smell all over the car or just on the board?
All over. Kind of made me sick, but they didn't seem to mind it.
Well, look, I'd like you to think real careful, Peggy. Have you ever come across that musty smell on anybody around the school here?
Yes, I have, a couple of times. Makes me sick. What is it?
Who did you notice it on, Peggy?
Bob Lavelle.
Ben and I went back to the principal's office and checked the record on Robert Lavelle. He was 18 years old, and he was scheduled to graduate in June. The registrar told us that there was a good chance that he wouldn't be graduated because his marks had been poor for the better part of the year. They dropped even lower during the present semester. Lavelle had played football the year before and had made third string on the all-city team. He was well liked by his teachers. For the last 2 years, he'd worked part-time at the school soda fountain. We went down to interview him.
Nice setup, huh?
Yeah.
Cafeteria, soda fountain. Wasn't like that in my day.
That must be the boy there behind the counter.
Oh, yeah.
Let's sit down.
Mm-hmm. How about that, Joe?
What's that?
That sign hanging up there. Idiot Special. 5 scoops of ice cream, marshmallow, bananas, chocolate, strawberry flavoring, whipped cream topping,
Maraschino cherries, chopped nuts, and onion?
No, you're reading over. That's on the hamburger sign there.
Oh.
Yeah? You want something?
Chocolate soda. Could you make it with vanilla ice cream, please?
Chocolate soda with vanilla cream.
Are you Bob Lavelle?
Yeah, that's right.
Police officers, Bob. We'd like to talk to you.
Oh, I'm pretty busy right now. Got to clean up. We close in a few minutes. I'll make you soda right away. You say chocolate?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we'll make it brief. Did you know Ken Morrow, Bob?
Oh, yeah. He used to work here.
Did you spend much time with him? Outside of school, I mean?
Not much. Went to a couple of shows together. That's about all. I'm kind of rushed now.
When was the last time that you saw him? You remember?
A week ago, I guess. Too bad about Ken.
How about the night he was in the accident? Did you see him then?
No, I didn't know him too well. He went around with a different crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, reach me a bag of those cashews, huh, Joe, on the card there?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, thanks. Want some? Crisp?
No, no, thanks.
The nuts are a dime, officer.
Right there on the counter, Bob.
Oh, yeah. I got to get going as soon as I close. I have to get out of town.
We talked to some of Ken Morrow's friends around the school, Bob. They tell us that he used to drive around in your car with you quite a bit.
Just a couple of times around school.
And you hadn't been with him for about a week before the accident.
That's right. Just what I told you.
Mm-hmm.
You want a little whipped cream on that?
Yeah, Lil.
How about a cherry?
Good idea.
There you are.
Thank you. Too late to fix a hamburger?
Yeah, I really got to close up. It's getting a little late, officers. I'm going to have to close up right now.
Well, we'll make it fast. Did you notice anything different about the Morrow boy in the last few weeks? Anything peculiar at all?
No, he was the same as ever. I didn't notice anything.
All right, look, Bob, we're going to lay it out for you. Did you know he was using marijuana?
No, I didn't know anything about it.
You have any idea where he might have gotten it?
I wouldn't know that. Look, you mind if I lock up the counter now? I'll come around the other side.
Sure, go ahead.
I didn't know that about Ken, officer. I wouldn't know where he got the stuff. You sure he was using Mary?
Well, we found some in his car. We found some more in his locker upstairs.
That's tough. Anything more, officer? I got to hurry.
Well, it's just routine, Bob. We did the same with the other boys we talked to. We'd like to check your locker. You don't mind, do you?
I got to get out of town. I'm late now.
Your locker's just upstairs, isn't it? Won't take that long.
It's important to me. I got to get out of town.
We've got our car outside. We'll drive you down. We'll be down there in no time.
No, I've already got a ride. Can't you check it tomorrow?
It's not going to take a minute, Bob. Now, let's go, huh?
All right. Say, I happen to remember I didn't bring my locker key today.
That's so?
Yeah. Come to think of it, I don't know where it is. Guess I lost it.
Well, they must have a pass key around here, don't they?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll ask at the office, huh?
You're putting me in a jam, officer. That's going to take time. I'm due downtown.
I'm sorry, Bob, but we got to check it.
I got my locker all jammed up with stuff. It'll take us an hour.
Office is down there, Joe.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
I don't know why you're picking on me. My locker's jammed. They can't get it open. Why are you picking on me?
Let's ask him here. Go ahead, Bob.
Close the door.
Yeah?
I got my key. I'll show you.
Robert Lavelle took us to his locker and opened it. Hidden inside one of his gym shoes, we found 4 sticks of medium-grade marijuana. We took them, put them in an envelope, and sealed it. On the way downtown, the boy told us that he'd been buying this stuff for about 6 months and reselling it to some of the students at the high school. Said that he paid 50 cents apiece for the sticks and sold them for 75. He was an occasional user himself. Before we turned him over to the juvenile officers, he told us that a man named Ray Jensen supplied him with the marijuana. Jensen's address was a trailer camp in the southwest part of Los Angeles. We drove out and checked with the operator of the camp. He pointed out Jensen's trailer at the rear of the camp.
That one, Joe? The blue and gray one?
Yeah, this is good right here.
Okay.
Looks like Jensen's doing well, huh?
Yeah, nice-looking trailer.
Just a minute.
Yeah?
Police officer.
All right, open it up.
Get out of here.
Come
Get
on.
out. Watch it, Joe.
All right, hold it, mister.
Get out. Get out.
All right, Jensen.
That's good, Ben. I'll get him.
Yeah. All right, come on, get out.
What's the pitch, huh? Where's your warrant?
It's all over the floor, Jensen. Marijuana.
Who tipped? One of those lousy kids, huh? Which one?
You guess. You know enough of them.
You can't tap me for all that. I'm not the big guy.
All right, then who is?
I don't know. I'm only one of the mules.
Where do you get your stuff?
The big guy, the big tomato. That's what they call him.
Yeah?
Big man. Nobody sees him. I don't even know what he looks like. Neither you.
You let us worry about that. Come on.
Big tomato. That's what they call him. You won't get him. He's smart. You won't get him in 89 years.
Maybe not, but we'll get him.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. Now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality. Even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Friday, April the 12th, 7 p.m. We searched the trailer and a stakeout was placed on it, and then we took Ray Jensen downtown to the main jail where he was booked for suspicion of narcotics, a felony. The next day, Ben and I went back and questioned him. We got nowhere. The only thing he'd tell us was that the leader of the marijuana ring was unknown to him. The big tomato, that's all he could tell us. We went back and started rechecking leads furnished us by some of the high school boys who had purchased narcotics from Robert Lavelle. They all ended nowhere. Meantime, the flow of marijuana into the schools and into the hands of the teenage students continued. We'd no sooner choke off one source of supply when two more would turn up. We knew that there was only one real solution: find the gang leader and wipe out the entire supply and distribution setup. We stayed on it. Monday, April 22nd. Ben got a call from one of his informants that he had a lead on the source of marijuana on the east side of town. The informant's name was Willie Breck, a groundskeeper at a golf course near one of the city high schools. We drove out to talk to him. We located Breck by the clubhouse near the first tee.
On the tee now, Art Dory, Richmond, Virginia.
You remember my partner, don't you, Willie? Joe Fry?
Oh, yeah. Hi.
How are you, Willie?
Kind of busy today. Big tournament.
Yeah, quite a crowd you got here. It's a nice turnout.
Here you've been having trouble, huh? Fellow Mary in town?
Yeah, you think you can help us?
Maybe I can. Dirty business, huh? Working high school kids with that stuff. It's real dirty.
Any ideas, Willie?
Don't know how much of it's true. It's all from the grapevine downtown. The boss is somebody they call the Big Tomato. It's a funny one, huh?
Any idea who he is?
Couldn't say. He's getting lots of this stuff in, though. Usual feed line over from Mexico.
Mm-hmm. What else, Willie?
I hear there's more on the way. Don't know when, though. All for high school trade. Guess they figure they got a good business.
How'd they get the junk over, do you know?
No, but it's getting here. Most any kid can get some over on this side of town. Imagine that. Kids in their teens. Weed hits.
Yeah. How about this Big Tomato, Willie? No word at all?
Just one. Pretty thin.
Yeah.
There's a connection. Lives over on Hauser Boulevard. Got his number here somewhere. It's supposed to be the main connection for this tomato guy. Oh, yeah. There's his address. Third number there. It's a 6. His name is Tony Childs.
Is he supposed to handle all the stuff?
Most of it, I hear. Gets it all from the Big Tomato.
That about it?
That's it. Tony Childs. You got the address.
Many thanks, Willie. Anything comes up, you'll call, huh?
Sure thing.
How's the job out here?
Better than yours. I sure wouldn't want it. Working every day around joy poppers, mules, mainliners.
Well, somebody's got to do it, Willie.
Yeah, but not for me, Sergeant. Those dopesters are all lice. Selling junk to kids. Guess you met the lowest, huh?
No, not yet. We're looking for him. We went back to the office and checked the name and address of Tony Childs through R&I. No previous record. A stakeout was placed on his home and at his place of business. Childs himself was placed under 24-hour surveillance. A week passed. Nothing happened. Another week. Still nothing. There was no let-up in the supply of marijuana finding its way into the city and then into the schools. We couldn't see the beginnings of the racket, but we saw the end result. The percentage of juvenile users was still on the upswing. Wednesday, May 8th. We heard rumbles of another big marijuana buy in the offing. Either it failed to materialize or we missed it. Friday, May 10th. Ben and I took our turn shadowing the suspect, Tony Childs.
Can you see him from here, Joe?
Yeah. He's still in the barber shop. There's 2 guys with him.
Yeah. 4:10. We better check in, huh?
Yeah, I'll call in, huh?
Drugstore there. Must have a phone.
Yeah, all right. I'll be right back. Narcotics, please. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny, it's Joe Friday. Yeah. Yeah, we got him paid. Okay, right away. Bye.
What have you got?
Tony Childs. They want him picked up right away.
How come?
Well, they just raided his place. They found 32 ounces of weed in his room. Supposed to have more on him.
Well, let's go.
Come on.
What do you think? Trouble?
Well, don't be surprised. Childs, like to talk to you.
What's that?
Police officers like to talk to you and your 2 friends here downtown.
Can't make it, copper. Flying to Vegas tonight.
We want to see you downtown first.
Luck don't push me, huh?
Nobody's pushing you, Childs. We want to see you downtown. Now, come on, let's go.
Look out, Joe, Ransom Sam! Watch it!
That's it. 3 of them. Okay.
I'll get him.
All right, come on, you.
And I'm glad this doesn't come up often. Where's the barber?
He ran outside. Rough one, huh?
Yeah. What's your hunch, Joe? Think one of these 3 is the Big Tomato?
I don't know. Let's ask him. A search of the barber shop failed to reveal the presence of any narcotics. Tony Childs and his 2 companions were found to have a dozen sticks of marijuana in their possession. They were treated for cuts and bruises at Georgia Street and then booked for suspicion of narcotics, a felony, at the main jail. 3 other men found at Childs' apartment at the time of the raid were also booked. We got nowhere questioning any of them. As usual, we had the small fry, but the ringleader, the Big Tomato, was still in the clear. Still free to hire somebody else to run the marijuana supply line into the high schools. 3 weeks passed. Together with Captain Kearney and Sergeant Barr, Ben and I rechecked our earlier leads. We ran down anything that even looked like it might be promising. Nothing panned out. Wednesday, June 5th, 5:30 p.m. We got a call from the main jail. Tony Childs wanted to talk to us. Ben and I went over to see him.
Charles, I got something for you. Been playing the stooge long enough. If I'm good enough for jail, so's he.
All right, what do you got?
It's a big buy coming off. When you get him, tell him how long I've been in here.
What kind of a buy?
Mary, one of the biggest. It was set up before I got in here.
Where's the meat going to be?
Bruno Street, down by the train yards. I'll draw you a map. Setup's the same. Car pulls up and honks a couple of times, and an alley down there.
Who's handling the buy?
A big man. Don't waste any time.
When is it?
Tonight.
went back to the office and met with Sergeants Barr and Jacobson. 8 p.m. Ben and I took up our positions on the stakeout along with the rest of the men. We had a clear view of the exact location where the buy was to be made. We waited. 10 p.m. 11 p.m. No one showed. Midnight came and went. 1:30 a.m. Still no sign. At 18 minutes to 2, we spotted a man carrying a shopping bag emerge from behind a row of freight cars near the end of the rail yard. He made his way across the street to the alley. He stood back in the shadows.
As soon as the car gets in the alley, we pull up and block it, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Beck will do the same thing down at the other end.
Headlights coming in the alley.
Wait a minute.
No, they're going on through.
What's the time now?
4 minutes to 2.
We waited. 18 minutes passed. Still no sign of the car that, according to Childs, was supposed to be there for the big buy. We could still see the figure of a man with a shopping bag huddled in the alley. 3 a.m.
Joe.
Yeah?
Car down there in the alley.
Yeah. That's it. You want to start up?
Yep.
Just enough to block the alley.
Uh-huh.
That's good. All right, come on, let's go. Come on. All right, kill your engine and get out of the car. Joe, look out! They can't go far. Come on. All right, let's get them out of there.
Yeah. There's 3 of them. Here's the guy with the shopping bag.
All right, I got it.
Christ knocked him cold.
Yeah.
That's one. Easy there.
Yeah.
Pull right over there, will you? That's it. Get his coat off of that. I got it.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this, Joe. Found one of them in this guy's hand.
Tin can, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Full of marijuana. Did you look at the labels on those cans?
Yeah. Fancy solid packed tomatoes.
There he is, a big tomato.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 3rd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, if you're a long cigarette smoker like I am, remember, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Now, believe me, this difference is mighty important. So important that you'll always remember the first pack of Fatimas that you buy. Fatima's fast-growing popularity backs me up on that. But look, you can prove it to yourself by getting a pack of Fatimas tomorrow. You'll find that they now cost the same as other long cigarettes, and your first pack will convince you to go right on smoking them. Join me and the new thousands who enjoy Fatima's extra mildness, Fatima's rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll discover what all we Fatima smokers know. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
John A. Stanson, alias the Big Tomato, along with his associates in the narcotic gang, was tried and convicted for violating the State Narcotic Act. He received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary.
The radio editors of the United States and Canada have named Dragnet the best radio program of its type for 1950. And Dragnet's Jack Webb, the most promising star of tomorrow.
In behalf of Dragnet, I'd like to thank the radio editors of the United States and Canada and the editors of Motion Picture Daily who conducted the voting in the 15th annual poll for Fame magazine.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Later, here's Spellbound with Joseph Cotton on Screen Directors on NBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the material and quotations used on the following program are taken from authentic news reports off the wires of Associated Press and International News Service. We present this material without editorial comment, since this station takes no official stand on any controversial question. We can, therefore, assume no responsibility for the attitude such statements reflect.
From San Francisco, the American Broadcasting Company presents 1 out of 7. "24 hours make a day, 7 days make 1 week. And from these past 7 days, the editors here in our San Francisco newsroom have chosen the one story which they have judged most worthy of retelling. This is 1 out of
7. We're not here to tell you what is good or what is evil, or to tell you what is right and what is not right. Being only men as you are, and thus being as moral or as immoral as you are, we refuse to mount the seat of judgment to pass sentence on those as guilty or as innocent as we claim ourselves to be. Now, we ask only that you pause, observe, and reflect. You have an intelligence of your own. Judge these actions for yourself. Last week, beneath the spacious skies of America the Beautiful, in the valleys of the amber grain and the fruited plain, and in the city towers looming high with the majesty of purple mountains, the people rejoiced and rededicated themselves in a nationwide Brotherhood Week. Lofty and ideal were the speeches of Brotherhood Week. Stirring and altruistic were the pledges and promises of Brotherhood Week. Godly and charitable were the aims of Brotherhood Week. But there are 2 families in San Francisco who are asking questions. 2 families. City desk, Martin.
Say, boss, here's a pretty fair yarn on an eviction case. You want it?
Yeah, sure. What's it all about?
Well, it seems there's a gentleman out in one of the residential districts who objects to the presence of a Filipino family in the neighborhood. There's also a Chinese family living nearby that, it doesn't appeal to him either.
Yeah, go on.
Well, this gentleman says that the fact that these 2 families are living near him detracts from the value of his property.
Well, what's the matter? Does he have something against them?
Oh, no, nothing like that, boss. He just says that when he moved there, he was told that it was a neighborhood for white people. White people only. One of those restricted deals, you know? Well, now he's filing suit to have them evicted. Says he's losing money if they stay.
What about the 2 families? What have they got to say?
Well, they're plenty burned up about it. They're organizing, to fight the Neighbor Boosters Club who's behind this gentleman. One of the members of the Filipino family is, he's a Navy veteran, and he gave me a pretty good quote.
Well, go ahead. Let's have it.
Okay, boss. He says, "Is this what we've been fighting for? To have a bunch of stay-at-homes throw us out of our house?"
No, we're not here to tell you what is right and what is wrong. We wish merely to report that last week, the nation observed Brotherhood Week. In the churches and town halls throughout the country, the people rededicated themselves to the principles of tolerance and charity of the Founding Fathers. Columbia, Tennessee. A little more than 24 hours ago, the worst racial disorder in years, brought about by rumors of threatened lynching of Negroes, sweeps the city. 500 highway patrolmen raid a 2-block area in the Negro section of the town where the non-white are carefully segregated. Armed with pistols and machine guns, the huge force of police search every Negro building in the area. Under the command of the State Director of Public Safety, the patrolmen fire withering blasts through the windows of the homes of the buildings. Groups of the Negroes huddle behind barricaded doors, answer the machine gun fire with 2 or 3 scattered shots. More than 40 Negroes are arrested during the raid. The State Director of Public Safety describes the police exploit as a success. The origin of the bloody race riot is not clear, but it is reported that it started when a Negro woman and her son had a fight with a Navy veteran. The Negro couple were arrested, and it was then, according to one Negro, that the lynching rumor fired the town. Isn't that right? Well, we heard that the white men were going to have a lynching party tonight, and, well, we didn't like that. We didn't want any killing to start again.
Let us again renew our faith in Christian charity, in the principles of brotherhood that Christ himself handed down to us, and let us again resolve to act and live by the precept that we are all brothers, regardless of the color of our skin or the creed we profess, that we are all brothers in the house of the Lord.
We're not here to pass judgment on what is good and what is evil. We wish merely to report that last week, in a nationwide celebration marked by pledge and promise, the people observed the annual custom of Brotherhood Week. In a large eastern city, time, Thursday of last week, a Jewish newspaper editor and his family stand outside their burning home, huddled in firemen's capes against the cold of the early winter morning. I'm from headquarters, Mr. Byrne. I heard about how the fire started in your house. Do you expect anybody or suspect anybody in particular? Well, no. I could not tell you the name of the men. I don't think I know him. But lately I've been receiving phone calls and a few letters, too, warning me about the editorials I've been writing in my district newspaper. Well, what were those phone calls and letters all about, Mr. Byrne? Well, they said I was trying to make our district into a ghetto and a Negro colony because I've been opposing a drive by the neighborhood club to keep out all the Jews, Negroes, Italians, Chinese. I think you know, officer. You must have heard. Yeah, I've heard, Mr. Byrne. I guess this is their answer, huh? Yes. Tonight there was another telephone call, and then about 1 o'clock, my wife and I were...
All right, George. Light the torches and let them fly. We'll teach that Jew a lesson he won't forget. Come on, let's get out of here.
You see, it is not our place to pass sentence on the incident. For we're only men as moral or as immoral as you are, or as they are. We wish only to point out that last week was Brotherhood Week. Several appropriate speeches were made, and the people as a whole pledged themselves to tolerance and charity. The annual observance was acclaimed a success throughout the nation. Priests and ministers. This is a story which probably will not receive the circulation it deserves. It concerns an incident which occurred last week at a southeastern Navy station here in the United States. And if my guess is right, it should give many a citizen cause to stop and ponder the worth and aims of our lately won victory. It all happened in one of the mess rooms at this particular Navy base where a group of officers... Now, look, I don't care what anybody says. It's all the fault of the Jews. Now, look, I was in the Pacific, yeah. And all the time we're sweating it out over there, the big Jews back in the States are demanding that we defeat Germany first, while the men in the Pacific starve and sweat it out. Now, no. You can't tell me a thing about those Jews, brother. I know exactly what they're like. You can have them. I beg your pardon, Commander. I'm a Jew, and I think you're very mistaken in what you say. Well, now listen here, Mr. Goldstein. You're a lieutenant. The Constitution may say that I have to serve in the same Navy with Jews, but there are no Navy regulations that say I have to eat at the same table with them. Now, you other gentlemen will excuse me.
All right, George. Light the torches and let them fly. We'll teach that Jew a lesson he won't forget. Come on, let's get out of here.
was Brotherhood Week. Last week was Brotherhood Week. Down through the rain, down through the wet, glistening street he came, his head bared, his frayed coat collar pulled tightly around his neck, a wide, ugly cut on his forehead, still bleeding, a monstrous bruise covering the side of his face. But strangely, I noticed he walked straight up, his head high. He came up and he stood beside me at the bus stop. And after a while he said, You are wondering about me. Is that not so? This cut on my head and this bruise on my face? Why, yes, as a matter of fact, I was wondering about... Yeah, well, it looks like a pretty nasty cut, mister. Tell me, how'd you get it? Well, it all happened so suddenly, I still cannot remember everything. I try. Tonight, like every Wednesday night, we have our meeting down in the hall on the west side of the city, you know? Yeah, I know where that hall is. And on Wednesdays, the people who are of my race, well, we all meet together to learn about our new country, to study the language, and to try to be better Americans. But tonight, we have some visitors. They are a group of men, and they say, we cannot stay here because this town is for people of their race only. We say we will not go. And then there is a big fight. The men wreck our clubroom, they smash our furniture, and they fight with us. They tell us in loud voices, get out, stay out. But we fight back because we know the laws. The laws say these men are wrong. Oh, but the laws, they are not everything, are they? Well, no, they're not, mister. You'll find that out. Yes, we have found it out already. There are many things different about America than first I thought. Well, now, I must cross the street to the church. Would you like to come with me? I do not pray, you know. But I like to stand there in the church and say these things. It makes me feel better inside here after what has happened tonight. Well, I crossed the street with him and I went into the church. We sat down in one of the pews far back in one of the dark corners of the church. A few candles flickered uncertainly up at the altar. And after a long moment, he turned to me and he said, I do not hate these men who do such things. I am not bitter against them. Only I have so much pity for them. For is it not true? They are like frightened little children, afraid, running around looking for an enemy to fight. Anybody. But they do not see. The real enemy, he is inside them. Oh, they hate us. Yes, they hate us. But really, they do not know why. They would kill us. And then they would look down at our bodies and they would feel like little children who had just broken their toys. They see only the difference of color or language. And they become angry because we are not as they. Oh, it is so sad. And that is why I have so much pity for them. So blind. They are so blind. The sun is there waiting for them, shining warm and full over everybody. But their eyes are still closed, and all they can see is the darkness.
The script for 1 out of 7 is written by James Edward Moser. Gil Dowd is the producer, and music is by Otto Clare at the Hammond organ. All characters in tonight's performance were portrayed by Jack Webb. Listen next week, same time, same station, for 1 out of 7. Mark Jordan speaking. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting...
Ladies and gentlemen, Fatima Cigarettes is proud to bring you its prize-winning radio program, winner of the Motion Picture Herald Fame Award. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Juvenile Bureau. You receive a complaint about an 8-year-old boy and his sister. A neighbor reports they've been going from door to door begging for food. Supposedly, the children are from well-to-do parents. Your job? Investigate. You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, April 27th. It was overcast in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Kinsling. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from communications, and it was 4:38 p.m. when I got to 1335 Georgia Street, second floor, room 14.
Hi, Joe. Been waiting long? I was just checking the record.
No, I just got here.
What's this thing all about?
Well, just what I told you on the phone. 7-year-old boy and his sister covering the neighborhood begging food. You ready to go?
Yeah, let me put this away first. Kid's supposed to be from a wealthy family, huh?
Well, wealthy enough to live in the best part of Bel Air, yeah.
Doesn't make much sense. Must be some kind of a gag, huh?
No, not according to the neighbor who called in.
Yeah?
She says the kids are half starved. Ben and I got in the car and drove out Sunset Boulevard to the Bel Air district. We pulled up in front of a large 2-story home near the corner of Brookline Avenue and Knightsbridge Drive. It was a white frame colonial mansion set back in the middle of well-landscaped lawns and gardens. The other homes in the neighborhood were just as large, $50,000 and up. It was the last place in the city that you'd expect to find neighborhood children begging food. 5:20 p.m. We went around to the rear entrance of the colonial mansion as we'd been instructed on the phone. We located the woman who'd called in the complaint, a Miss Jeanette Bejan. She was employed as laundress and cook by the owners of the house. She was busy fixing dinner.
They're from next door, officer. The children. As I explained on the phone, a boy about 7 years, a girl 5 years old, I guess.
Which side do they live on, Miss Bejan? The house on the corner?
No, the other side. Up here. The brown and white house. Just up the street next door.
Mm-hmm. Are there children there now? Do you know that?
No, but they were here this afternoon again. Here to the back door asking for something to eat. I don't understand it. Something must be wrong.
Well, have they been around often, Miss Bejan?
2 or 3 days. Maybe 4 days. At first I thought they were fooling, but they were not. I gave them some cookies, sandwiches. They were very hungry. They ate them like they were starving. The little girl saved her cookies. She took them with her.
How about their parents? Are they at home?
Excuse me. Passage. There. That's better. No, I haven't seen the mother the last few days. I understand they are divorced. The mother, she lives there with the children. The father, I don't know.
Well, what's their name, do you know?
Kessler. Madame, the woman I work for. She says there are 3 children in the Kessler family. But I don't know. I have only seen the 2, the boy and the girl. I would go over and see what is wrong, but I do not know the Kessler. It is not my place. That's why I called you, officer.
All right, Miss Bejan. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, not at all, officer. You understand, I do not mind giving the children food. Well, I think only something is wrong if they do not get it at home.
Well, thank you very much for notifying us. We're going to check into it.
I'm just a little curious, Miss Bejan. What's that you're making?
This? Napoleon.
How's that?
Napoleon. You know, Napoleon pastry.
Oh, yeah. Sure smells good. Well, thanks again.
Oh, certainly, officer. If there is anything I can do, you will let me know?
Yes, ma'am, we will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
That's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Those Swedish women make pretty good cooks, don't they?
I don't know. She sounded French to me.
Huh? Maybe so. Both good at cooking, anyhow.
Yeah, that brown and white house next door, that must be it, huh?
Well, that name, Kessler, they fairly prominent around town, society?
I don't know. There's quite a few of them. Could be. Any way you look at it, it's hard to figure, isn't it?
Kids have been at it for 4 days. If it's on the level, they really must be in a bind.
Garage door is open back there. No sign of a car.
Kids' bicycles, though.
Let's try the front door, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You better try it again, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Hello, son. Your name's Kessler, is that right?
Yes, I'm Richard. My mother's not home right now. Maybe you can come back tomorrow.
Well, we're police officers, Richard. If you're not busy, we'd like to talk to you for a minute. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. That'd be all right. Would you come in, please?
Thank you. Richard Kessler was a blonde-haired, wiry boy, polite, well-mannered. He told us that he was 8 years old and that he attended the neighborhood grammar school. He showed us back to the kitchen where he was warming a can of soup that he borrowed from a neighbor. It was a large house, richly furnished, but it hadn't been cleaned for weeks. Dust was piled up thick on the furniture, and children's books and toys were scattered around the rooms along with scraps of dried bread, half-eaten. The house was cold and musty. On a small bar in the dining room, there were 3 half-filled cocktail glasses, a plate full of cigarette butts. Evidently, they'd been standing there for days. On the sink in the kitchen, there were a few pieces of stale bread and an open bottle of milk that had turned sour. Next to it were a half a dozen empty whiskey bottles. The Kessler boy was well-dressed, except for the shirt that he had on. It looked as if he'd been wearing it for a week.
What did you want to talk to me about, officer? I haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, we know that, son. We'd just like to find out how you've been getting along.
I've been getting along all right. 2 A's and 4 B's on my report card last month.
Mm-hmm. Where's your sister, Dick?
Judy, she's down the street. She'll be back in a minute.
How about your mother? Where's she?
She's out, too. She'll be back.
When do you expect her, son?
Pretty soon. She's coming back pretty soon.
And your sister, Judy, she's younger than you are, isn't she, Dick?
Yes. Judy's only 6. I'm 8.
Any other grown-ups live here with you besides your mother?
No. Mom takes care of us. She'll be back pretty soon.
We'd like to have you tell us the truth now, Dick. How long's she been gone?
I don't know. It's probably important. It's taking her a long time. You can come back tomorrow. She'll probably be here then.
When was the last time you saw her, son? Son, how about that?
A couple of days ago.
Well, this is Tuesday. You mean she left the house Sunday?
No, before that. Last Friday night she went out. Said she'd be back. I don't know.
Did your mother say where she was going, Dick?
No, her boyfriend was here. Larry, I don't know his last name. Mom went out with him to a party, I think. I don't know where. She'll be back all right.
Did you leave anyone to take care of?
No, we can take care of ourselves. Nobody's fixed the cooking, though. I don't know how yet. I'd better look at the soup on the stove.
No, I'll take care of it, son. You go ahead. Sit down.
Has your mother ever left you like this before, sir?
Maybe once or twice. She never stayed away this long, though. I don't know.
What's the matter, Dick?
Well, Johnny, officer, my little brother. He hasn't eaten much for a while. Must be hungry by now. I was fixing the soup for him.
Yeah, well, where's Johnny?
He's upstairs in the nursery. He's been sick with a bad cold. Mom knew Johnny was sick. That's why I wondered. She hasn't come back yet. I don't think Johnny's feeling good.
Do you want to take steps for him, sir?
Yeah, all right, if you want.
Ben, you want to come on?
Yeah.
How long has Johnny had this cold, Dick?
A couple of days before Friday, before Mom left.
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
Johnny's just a little kid. He won't be 2 years old until July. I've been wondering about him. Coughed a lot at first. Been giving him milk and cookies. That's what Judy and I had. I don't know.
Has the doctor been to see Johnny?
Oh, no, I thought of calling him. I didn't know the doctor's name. I was waiting until Mom got home. This is Johnny's room here.
Mm-hmm.
In the crib, officer. That's my brother Johnny.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cold in here.
Yeah, let's have a look. Hey, young fella.
Hi, Johnny. You hungry now?
Yo, look at his eyes.
Yeah, I want to get to a phone, doctor, and ambulance. Tell him to hurry.
Right.
Oh, what's the matter, officer? What about Johnny's eyes?
He'll be all right, Dick.
Oh, he's been acting awful quiet, but hardly moved around at all. Most of the time he's jumping up and down in his crib like anything.
Has anyone at all been in here to see him since Friday?
Yes, sir. My sister Judy and I. We changed his diapers and give him something to eat.
I see.
Gee, I sure wish Mom would get home. I'd like to talk to her.
Yeah, so would I. 5:48 p.m. We put in a call to the office for a policewoman. Then we got in touch with Lieutenant Lee Jones at the crime lab, and he sent out a man to photograph the condition of the Kessler home and the children. The doctor and the ambulance arrived, and little Johnny Kessler was taken to the general hospital in critical condition. The 22-month-old boy was in a coma. Richard Kessler and his sister Judy were taken to Georgia Street Juvenile Bureau and then transferred to Juvenile Hall and placed under protective custody, Section 700 Sub B, Welfare and Institution Code. The two of them were given a bath and something to eat. Judy Kessler was interrogated separately by a policewoman. Ben and I talked to the boy, Richard. After a few minutes, he broke down and admitted that his mother had gone off and left the three children alone on at least a half a dozen occasions. He told us his parents were divorced. He rarely saw his father, but his mother had had 2 or 3 boyfriends at the house during the past year. He also told us his mother drank quite a bit.
But she's never been gone this long before, Sergeant. Maybe she's out somewhere and has no way to get home.
We'll find her all right, son. Don't you worry about it.
Well, this boyfriend of your mother's, Dick, his first name was Larry. Is that all you can tell us?
Yes, sir. I don't know his last name. Are you going to keep us here all night, Judy and me?
Just for a day or so. They'll take good care of you, son.
Where'd you take Judy?
Well, she's just next door, Dick. You can see her in just a minute now.
And how about Johnny? I always take care of him. Pretty fussy around strangers.
Well, they've got him over at the hospital, Dick. They're going to take good care of him now. You can count on that.
I don't know, officer. I better see him. He might get awful fussy.
All right. We'll fix that up for you.
Do you have any relatives in Los Angeles, son? Aunts, uncles, anyone like that?
No, just my father, but I don't know where he lives. We had a nurse who used to take care of us, Mrs. McIntosh. She was swell. My mom fired her.
Oh, how'd that happen? Do you know?
No, I'm not quite sure. Maybe my mom was drinking. Mrs. McIntosh got mad at her. Had a big fight, and Mom fired her.
Oh, now, this Mrs. McIntosh, you know where we can find her?
No, sir, I don't.
How about some of the other boyfriends that your mother had, Dick? Do you remember any of their names?
No, one of them was George something. I don't remember the other one.
Joe, see you a minute?
Yeah, Mac. You want to stay with the boy, huh, Dad?
Yeah. Hospital call. It's a lousy thing.
Well, what's that?
The Kessler boy, little Johnny.
Yeah?
He just died.
John Albert Kessler, white male American, age 22 months. All the pertinent facts and data would be listed on the crime report. And if and when the case was closed, the report would be filed away. Wouldn't be any different from 1,000 other dead body reports. Same size, same color. Same number up in the left-hand corner. In the course of 10 or 20 years on the job, a police officer sees a lot of them. Most of them he forgets. A few of them he never forgets. The next morning, the body was posted to the county morgue. It was found that the youngster had been suffering from malnutrition, but the cause of death was listed as a basal skull fracture. Homicide detail was notified. The search for the mother, Mrs. Jean Kessler, went on. We talked to her neighbors, all of her friends that we could locate. We checked out an address book that was found in Mrs. Kessler's effects at her home. We got out a broadcast and an APB. No luck. Thursday, April 29th.
How about the youngster's brother and sister, Ben? You think it could have happened that way? How do you mean? Well, we were taking care of the little fella. They might have had an accident with him. They're afraid to own up to it. I don't think so, Joe.
No, that's not very likely, Mac. We talked to him quite a bit last night. A couple of pretty honest kids. Pretty sure that they wouldn't lie about something like that.
Where does that leave it, the mother?
Good possibility. We know Mrs. Kessler drinks quite a bit. She could have lost patience with a little boy. More chance of an accident there.
I get it. Funeral Friday. Yeah, Bert. Where's that? Right, thanks.
Yeah?
Woman answering Miss Kessler's description checked into the hotel down on South Hope last night.
Still registered?
Well, she checked out early this morning. They found a woman's sport coat in the room.
What about it?
Blood stains on it.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history.
Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties. Extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories.
Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes.
Friday, April 30th. We were still without a lead as to the whereabouts of the missing mother, Mrs. Jean Kessler. The blood-stained coat, which had been found in the South Hope Street Hotel, was shown to Mrs. Kessler's friends and to her children, Richard and Judy. They identified it as belonging to the missing woman. Routine investigation of the hotel room failed to uncover any further leads. We got out a supplementary APB, and then we started rechecking with the Kessler woman's friends and acquaintances. Nothing. We rechecked a dozen taverns and cocktail lounges that she'd been known to frequent. No sign of her, no sign of her boyfriend. In rechecking her personal effects, we found a canceled check payable to their former nurse, Mrs. McIntyre. The endorsement carried her address. We checked it out. She'd moved. We traced it to the forwarding address. There we were told that she had a new job as a nursemaid with a wealthy family living in the Los Feliz district. We called there and talked to Mrs. McIntyre, and she told us that she was just leaving the house with the 3 children for an outing at the park and the zoo. We made arrangements to meet with her out there, 1:30 p.m. Ben and I located her at the head of the path leading through the main part of the Griffith Park Zoo.
I read about it in the paper, Sergeant, about Johnny. I didn't know you wanted to talk to me. I would have called in if I did.
We're still trying to locate the mother, Mrs. McIntosh. Can you help us out there at all?
No, I don't know. Have you asked at those places she used to go to all the time, where she used to drink?
Yes, ma'am, we have. They couldn't help her. Did you know any of Miss Kessler's boyfriends, the ones that had come to the house?
Yes, I knew all of them. Donald, don't you wander off now. Same for you, Patsy. You stay close.
The boy, Richard, he was telling us about one of the boyfriends, ma'am. A fellow named Larry.
Oh, yes. Donald, you heard what I said. You stay close. Yes, I knew Larry.
You remember what his last name was now?
Yes, Bartell. Some kind of an actor in the movies, I think.
Bartell. You know where he lives?
No, I think he had an apartment in Hollywood. I wouldn't know the address.
What kind of a man was this Bartell? I mean his temperament and things like that.
Well, I think he was kind of lazy. I think Mrs. Kessler was giving him money.
Mm-hmm. Did the two of them ever argue or have any fights?
All the time. He had a terrible temper.
Did he ever strike Miss Kessler?
Yes, I saw it happen several times. Not too close to the cage, Donald. Back a little.
How did this Bartell act toward the children, Mrs. McIntyre?
Different, I guess. They annoyed him sometimes.
Well, that was after that you had the argument with Miss Kessler?
Yes. It was about her drinking and her boyfriend and all the rest. I just got sick of it, and I told her what I thought. She didn't want to admit she was getting old, not caring for the children, pretending she was still in her 20s.
Well, do you have any idea where we might locate the father?
Well, they're divorced, you know. He's the head salesman for a lumber concern downtown. He inherited most of his money. I have the name of the company at home. You can have it if you like.
Yes, ma'am. We'd appreciate that.
You know, it's the children I feel sorry for.
Yes, ma'am.
3 beautiful children. And that poor little Johnny, I just can't understand it.
What's that?
How could anyone desert a helpless baby like that?
We'll ask his mother. Friday, 5 p.m. Mrs. McIntosh called us at the office and gave us the business address of the missing woman's ex-husband, Richard Lane Kessler. We called there, but they told us Kessler was away on a week's vacation. They had no idea where to contact him, but he was expected back in a few days. We called Central Casting and asked them to check their talent list for a bit player by the name of Larry Bartell. They had no such name listed. Saturday, 8 a.m. The Kessler children, Richard and Judy, remained in the custody of juvenile authorities. The search for their mother continued. All day Saturday, Ben and I ran down what few leads we had. They went nowhere. Checks to the morgue, the city hospitals, and the drunk tank at the main jail still failed to turn up the missing woman. We checked again at the different drinking places she used to patronize. No one had seen her. 5:30 p.m. we went back to the office.
A lot of mileage today.
Yeah, there's not much to show for it.
Not going to be much fun for those Kessler kids this Sunday.
Why? What do you mean?
First Sunday in May.
Huh?
Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mac.
Hi. Got a piece of news for you.
Yep.
The Kessler woman's boyfriend, Larry Bartell.
What about him?
He's been located.
When he'd seen his name mentioned the previous night in the newspaper stories concerning the case, Larry Bartell had contacted the office to let us know that he didn't consider himself a fugitive. At least that was his story. He called just a few minutes before we got back to the office. He left word that he could be found at a Wilshire address all day Sunday. In the meantime, he'd be at the Spotlight Club, the club for theatrical people located in West Hollywood. 6:25 p.m. Ben and I located him at the club back in the billiards room. He was tall, dark-haired, dressed expensively.
I told the cop when I called in, you weren't supposed to contact me. It was important.
That little Kessler boy's dead, Bartell. We think that's pretty important.
Well, I didn't know anything about that. You didn't have to interrupt me. That's an important man I was playing with. Now, what do you want to know?
Where's Miss Kessler?
Well, why ask me? I don't know.
You're a pretty good friend of hers. You were the last person seen with her.
Oh, it was a week ago. We went out to a party last Friday night. I haven't seen her since the following Monday. Last Monday. I'm through with her anyway.
What do you mean?
I just got sick of her, that's all. Pawing all over me, asking me to marry her. I just got sick of it. It wasn't worth it.
You accepted money from her?
Just to tide me over. She had plenty of it. Why not?
Where'd you last see her?
Keep your voices down. I wouldn't like to get around the club. Yeah. There's a hotel downtown on South Flower. I can give you the address.
Were you at another hotel with Miss Kessler last week?
Yeah, on South Hope, around 9th Street, I think. Oh, that's where you found a coat, huh?
You got an explanation for that?
Blood stain? Sure. Crazy Jane. So I threw it, then she tried to hit me with a bottle. Cut herself. Boy, I tell you, this wasn't worth it, that's all.
I guess you can prove everything you're telling us, huh?
Of course I can prove it. It's the truth.
And what about the little boy? How'd that happen?
I didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't my fault.
Well, how'd it happen?
Well, it was that Friday night just before we left the house. The old lady and I were downstairs having a few drinks. She put the little kid to bed, but he wouldn't stay there. He just getting up out of bed and running downstairs crying.
Yeah, go on.
She finally took the kid, gave him a good spanking, threw him back in bed. I think he hit his head in one of the course of the creek.
Why didn't you do something about it?
Well, I told her, but she said it was nothing. Didn't matter. Got a coat from us, that's all. Kids are all right when we left.
You mean all the times you and Mrs. Kessler went out, you knew those children were being left all alone in that house?
Oh, what out of she's the mother, not me. Oh, look, I gotta get back. I kept that game waiting on.
No, just a minute. It's gonna wait a little longer. Come on. Larry Bartell was taken downtown and held for questioning on suspicion of 702 WIC, contributing to negligence of minors. He gave us the address of the hotel where he'd last seen Mrs. Kessler. Ben and I checked it out. It was a typical cheap downtown hotel with a bar opening off the lobby. The desk clerk told us a woman answering Mrs. Kessler's description was registered in a room on the second floor. They had an old-fashioned player piano going full volume in the bar. The sound followed us up the stairs.
Tenants here sure must like their music.
Yeah. That's the stairs, isn't it? 216?
Yeah.
We better try it.
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Who's there? Who is it?
You, Mrs. Jean Kessler?
What is it? Who are you?
Police officers would like to talk to you.
I haven't done anything.
what he wanted me.
I want to talk to you about your children, Miss Kessler.
But I didn't do anything. Johnny was sick, that's all. I didn't do anything.
That's not what Bartell says.
Larry, have you seen him? Is he coming back to me?
You better get up, lady. Get your coat.
I gotta have Larry back. He's everything to me. I love him. Is he coming back?
You've been gone over a week. Aren't you a little worried about your children?
They're all right. I'm too young to spend my life on children. I need Larry. Where is he?
See if you can find a coat, will you, Ben?
Yeah, all right.
I've been drinking all this. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I need Larry so bad. He's young like me. I love him. I gave him all my love. Gave him every bit of it.
Yeah, you gave him too much.
What?
You didn't have any left for your kids.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 2nd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb. Thanks, sir. Friends, if you're with us week to week, you've heard me say, in Fatima, the difference is quality. It's a difference that you can prove just by buying a pack and smoking them. You'll find Fatima's extra mild, with a rich, better flavor and aroma. Stop in at the store in the corner and buy a pack of Fatimas the first chance you get. You'll find in Fatimas, the difference is quality. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you for your very fine response to our program, Dragnet. Since the first show went on the air about a year and a half ago, your cards and letters have been a constant source of encouragement and guidance. In the field of radio presentations, we felt that we were attempting something a little different, and we were not altogether sure that it would meet with your approval. Possibly, we were sure that our approach to this type of presentation was a sound one, but the final approval had to rest with you. If we may judge by your response, you've placed Dragnet high among the programs that you enjoy most, and for this we're indeed grateful. We've tried to bring you, first of all, an adult program, worthy of the 30 minutes that you spend with us each week. We've tried to bring you an honest and authoritative report on the work of your police force. We've tried to bring before you documented police cases that were informative as well as entertaining. In forthcoming weeks, we sincerely hope that Dragnet remains one of your favorite shows. Your letters have been read by all members of the Dragnet production staff. So if you like to listen to Dragnet, it's because you, our listeners, have helped to guide us in presenting the kind of entertainment that you want. And for this, our thanks.
Mrs. Jean Kessler was filed on and found guilty in Superior Court, charge of manslaughter. She was sentenced to 1 year in the county jail and deprived of the custody of her children. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portion transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now stay tuned for Counter Spy. Then it's Screen Directors Playhouse on
Liggett & Myers, makers of Fatima Cigarettes, is proud to bring you its prize-winning radio program, winner of the Motion Picture Herald Fame Award. The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. 12 men drop completely from sight over a short period of time. There's evidence of foul play. 4 months pass. You finally locate the leading suspect in the case. Your job? Pick him up.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, October the 6th. It was sultry in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. We were on the way out from the office, and it was 10:45 a.m. when we got to Ortega Street, number 1285.
Second floor?
Yeah, room 14.
They all smell the same, don't they?
What's that?
Room and housing.
Oh, yeah. No, these are the odd numbers here. Must be down that way, huh?
Yeah, here it is. 14.
Yeah. Just a minute.
Taking his time.
Try it again, huh?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah? Police officers. Your name Henry Ross?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
All right, come on.
What is this? What do you want?
Ben.
Yeah. I got him.
What is this? You guys really cops?
All right, come on, get up.
No fooling. No fooling. You really cops? I thought you were faking.
We showed you our identification at the door.
I thought you were faking. That's the truth. There's a couple of guys out to mush me up. I thought you were them.
Your name Henry Ross?
Yeah, that's right. I thought you were one of those moochers I had a fight with in the bar the other night. Said he's going to get a pal and come back in and take care of me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I got no reason to fight with cops. I didn't do my room any good. Landlady's sure going to scream.
All right, come on. You want to finish up dressing? I want to talk to you downtown.
What's it about, officer?
Missing person. We'll brief you when we get downtown.
Well, that's all right with me. Could you take these handcuffs off, please? It's kind of hard dressing with them.
All you have to do is put your shoes on. You can make out.
All right. I don't know why you had to slap handcuffs on me. I didn't know you were cops.
You mind if we check through your things, Rolf?
Huh? Why?
You mind?
Oh, go ahead if you want. I got nothing to hide. You know, if you'd spoke up at the door, there wouldn't have been a fight. I thought you were that mooch in the bar and his friend. I thought you were looking for trouble.
You about ready to go?
Yeah, I'd like to brush my teeth, though, if you don't mind. I got a real mouthful of cotton this morning.
All right, where do you keep your toothbrush?
It's over here. I'll get it.
No, I'll get it. Never mind. Get here?
Yeah, first shelf. It's in the glass.
Yeah,
Don't you trust me?
Here you go. Want some toothpaste?
Yeah.
All right. There you are.
Turn on the water tap, huh?
Hey. Nothing, Joe. It's pretty clean.
Of course I'm clean. What do you expect? Anybody could have made the mistake. I didn't know you were cops.
Henry Ellsworth Ross. Is that your full name?
Yeah, that's right.
I hardly ever use the Ellsworth, though. It's a real lousy name, huh? Well, what's the fetch on all this, officer?
We told you, missing person. Want to talk to you about it.
I don't think I can help you. Nobody I know is missing.
How about Paul Davis?
Davis? Yeah, I know Davis. I don't know if his name is Paul, though. Been gone a long time, huh, Miss Davis?
Yeah, that's right.
Something wrong, you think?
We figure murder. After going over his room thoroughly, we took Henry Ellsworth Ross back to the city hall to the interrogation room. He was a slightly built man, dark hair, brown eyes, swarthy complexion. He was a longshoreman by trade. Among his friends and acquaintances, he was known as a heavy drinker and a man with a violent temper. Ben and I questioned him for a half an hour and got nowhere. He sat across the table, relaxed, scraping at a thick callus on his hand with his fingernail.
I'll tell you the truth. I just don't know what you're getting at. I think I know a guy named Davis, and that's about as far as it goes.
Sure that's all you got to tell us?
Of course I'm sure. Now, look, I got a right to call a lawyer if you're going to sit there and throw a lot of charges at me.
We're not throwing charges at you, Henry. We've got a missing persons case. We'd like to have you cooperate. That's about it.
Well, maybe I'd like to, but I can't. Paul Davis is just a name to me. Maybe I know him. I don't know.
You got that report there, Ben?
Yeah, just a minute. Here you go.
Thanks. Well, here's the way it goes, Henry.
Yeah?
Well, according to his wife, Paul Davis left Los Angeles by auto a little over 4 months ago. He was driving up to Oakdale, California to take a job with a dairy company up there. He never got there. He's been missing ever since.
So? What's the pitch?
All we've been able to find is Davis's car, the 36 Ford Coupe, 7 Tom 792. It was sold a month ago up in Lodi, California. But Davis didn't sell it. A man by the name of Carter signed the pink slip at the time of the sale. Henry Carter.
Sorry. Don't mean anything to me.
Well, this Carter made it look like Paul Davis had signed the Ford over to him. We checked it out. Davis's signature was forged.
That's so? It's supposed to have something to do with me?
Did you ever use the name Henry Carter?
Of course not. Ross. That's the only name I go by.
Never had your name changed?
No.
Never used an alias?
I told you, no.
I wonder if you'd mind taking a look at this. Here you go, this here.
What's this got to do with me?
The pink slip to Paul Davis' car. See these signatures on the back here? Transfer of ownership. You recognize either one of them?
Paul Davis. Henry H. Carter. No? Doesn't mean anything to me. Is it supposed to?
It should, yeah.
Why?
The signatures are both in your handwriting.
How about it, Henry?
About what? I don't even know what you're talking about. You're trying to give me the treatment? What's this all about?
We're trying to locate Paul Davis.
I'm not even sure I know the guy.
I think you better level, Henry. Our handwriting man checked both the signatures. It's your writing.
Well, then maybe you better get a new handwriting man. I never saw that slip. I never wrote those signatures. Anybody can copy handwriting.
Well, I got something else for you, Ross. I'd like to have you check it over, see if you can identify it.
What is it?
It's a letter. Want to take a look here? Does that mean anything to you?
No, nothing. I hope you're not going to tell me this is my handwriting.
That's what the report says.
Oh, it's crazy. I never wrote like that in my life.
All the writing characteristics match up, same as the signatures on the pink slip.
All right, maybe they are the same. I didn't write either one. I never wrote like that in my life. Here, let me show you how I write.
No, that's all right, Henry. Ben, you want to pull the package tomorrow night?
Yeah, okay.
I don't savvy one bit of this, Sergeant. How about laying it out for me?
You can see the name at the bottom of the letter. It's signed Henry Carter, same as the pink slip.
Well, that doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, this letter was sent to the wife of Paul Davis about 9 weeks ago, and it says here that Davis supposedly was too busy to write his wife, so he had this Henry Carter send a letter. He also writes in here that Davis sold his car to Carter.
Somebody trying to cover up, huh?
Yeah, we think so. We think it's Henry Carter.
This Davis guy, he's been gone about 4 months?
That's right.
You said you thought Davis was murdered. How come?
Just an idea.
Oh.
8 men had disappeared from around here in the last 14 months, just like Davis. 6 more up in the San Joaquin Valley the same way. They took off alone on auto trips and never seen again. Not a trace.
Pretty funny.
Here you go, Joe.
Thank you. You've got your record here, Henry, from Baton Rouge. Sent to Sheriff Clemens for it.
Huh? Look, do we have to drag all out again? It's past.
Just one thing we had to check, Henry. You told us that you never use an alias, is that right?
All right, I have. I didn't know what you're getting at. I didn't figure there's any use dragging out dirty laundry again.
I asked you if you ever used the name Henry Carter.
Okay, I've used it. It's a common name. There's a lot of Henry Carters around.
We only know one who fits your description.
I'm clean. You know that.
Want to smoke, Henry?
No.
You?
Yeah, thanks.
Well, let me have one, will you?
Sure. Here you go.
Thanks.
We got a match here. You know, we rode this thing for 4 months. All over the state. Here.
Thanks.
I'll tell you what we got, Henry. We'll let you make up your own mind.
It's not my writing.
On June 4th, Paul Davis left Los Angeles in his car headed for Oakdale. Late in the afternoon, he stopped for gas at a service station just beyond San Fernando. The attendant says a man was with Davis. You fit that man's description, Henry.
Yeah? Well, I've seen monks like that in court. They get on the stand and can't even remember their own name.
A couple others. You and Davis stopped for a hamburger just outside of Gorman. There's a man there. He remembers you, too. You stopped again in Bakersfield. Picked up a quart of oil for the car. You and Davis had a Coke. It's the last time he was seen alive.
That makes me a killer, huh?
A month after that, the pink slip to Davis's car came through DMV up in Sacramento. That was for the transfer of ownership from Davis to Henry Carter. Both in your handwriting. A couple of weeks later, Mrs. Davis got that letter. A month ago, Davis's car was sold to a dealer in Lodi.
Yeah.
We found the dealer, Ross. Showed him your mugshot. He says you sold him the car.
That all?
It's just the main part. There's more. We've been on the road a lot. We followed you from here to Sacramento and back, Henry. Every stop, every detour. It took us a long time.
Yeah, I guess it did.
What do you say, Ross?
Nothing.
Any way you want it, Henry.
You got another smoke?
Yeah? Yeah, here you are.
Thanks.
Here.
Yeah. I guess you worked hard on it, huh? All over the state.
That's right.
Must be pretty hot up in the valley summertime. Dusty, huh?
We made out.
I've never been up in the valley in summer. It's too hot for me.
We got people who saw you there.
What's it prove? 10 people and some writing samples. You can't build a case on that. You know it, don't you?
We're going to try.
You think I murdered Davis? You, Sergeant?
Yeah?
You think I murdered those other guys, too, huh? What was it, 10, 12 of them?
We're asking about Davis.
You think I killed him? Tell me the truth, do you? You think I murdered Davis?
Yeah, I think we did.
Uh-huh. Well, then you know as well as I do. There's only one way to prove it.
Yeah.
Find his body.
1:15 p.m. Ben and I took Henry Ross out and fed him some lunch. Then we took him back to the city hall to the interrogation room where we continued to question him. It was relaxed, and he talked a great deal about everything but the disappearance of Paul Davis. He didn't seem anxious to get away, made no demands for an attorney to represent him. For a full hour, he did most of the talking. He told us about the different homicide cases he'd read up on. He asked us about the 12 men who'd disappeared in the past month in the same manner Paul Davis had. Was there any trace of them at all? Did we have any leads? How did we think we were going to find them? Well, we finally got around to asking him if he'd submit to a lie detector test. He seemed taken by the idea and agreed to it almost immediately. Ben called Sergeant Berger and made arrangements for the test. We made up a list of key questions. At 5 p.m., we took the suspect to the third floor of the old city jail where Sergeant Berger gave him the polygraph test. On the way back to the office, Ross complained he was hungry. We stopped and bought him coffee and donuts. We got back to the interrogation room a little after 6 p.m. The questioning continued. Ross didn't seem to mind at all. He kept talking. We let him talk. 8 p.m. He was still going strong.
You remember the Wilson case back in 34, don't you, Sergeant? Woman killed her whole family. Big case, you remember.
Yeah, it's pretty tragic.
Is that a hobby of yours, Henry, collecting murder stories?
No, I just read them, remember. I guess I can remember every big murder case in the last 15 years.
That's so.
Yeah, it's about all of them. I guess it is kind of a hobby. I get a big kick out of it.
I get it, Ben. Excuse me, Henry.
Oh, sure.
Interrogation room, Friday. Oh, yeah, Berger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how many? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You know, there's one thing I get a real big kick out of, those detective magazines. Mystery stories. The way they make out the murderer.
How do you mean?
You know, they always build it up into something big. Somebody's always killing somebody else for $1 million. Maybe over some woman, some beautiful woman. Same way with the movies. That's where they get it all mixed up.
I don't think I follow you, Henry.
Oh, sure you do. Every time some guy writes a murder story, he's got to build up a big reason for the killing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of money, beautiful woman. Revenge, maybe. Always got to be a big reason. Motive. Motive, that's what they say.
Yeah, well, it generally works out that way, doesn't it?
Why? I bet you there's a 1,000 murder cases in your files without any reason at all. Some people kill, that's all. I've heard about lots of them. They just want to kill, and they go ahead and do it. Maybe for a few bucks, maybe for nothing. They just do it, that's all.
That's all.
Sure, you know that. Like this thing you've been talking about. 10, 12 guys disappear. They got a few bucks, maybe they got nothing. Somebody plows them under, and that's all. No big reason. They just do it. So 12 guys are gone. It doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. That's how you got it figured out, Henry.
Huh?
The phone call a minute ago there was a man who gave you the lie detector test.
Oh, that right? How'd it go?
He just finished going over your graph. He got 16 positive reactions.
Yeah, what's that mean?
You lied, Henry, 16 times.
That's right. You better tell him to get a new machine. I lied all the way through.
Mind telling us why?
No, I don't mind. I guess I knew you'd find out. Let's go get something to eat first, though. I'm hungry.
No, we better talk a little more, Henry.
Well, let's go. I'll tell you why we're eating. Bring a pencil with you. I'll draw you a map.
Map of what?
The canyon, where I buried it.
You are listening to Dragnet for the step-by-step solution to tonight's authentic case history.
Here, step by step, are the actual reasons why Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette. Why in Fatima the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest domestic and Turkish varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, round, perfect cigarettes. Rolled in the finest paper money can buy. Manufactured in the newest and most modern of all cigarette factories.
Quality even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Insist on Fatima. Start enjoying the quality king-size cigarette. Fatima, best of all long cigarettes.
Wednesday, 9:55 p.m. Ben and I took Henry Ross across the street, bought him a Coke at Mac's place, and we took him next door to the Melbourne cafeteria. It was almost closing time. Ross got himself a cottage cheese and pineapple salad, bacon and liver with onions, rye bread, banana pie, and coffee. Ben had a hot beef sandwich, mashed potatoes, and coffee. I had the same. At the back of the cafeteria, one of the busboys was mopping the tile floor. It was a strong smell of disinfectant.
How about that table over there, Sergeant? Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's okay. Doesn't make any difference. It's fine.
Yeah.
Want some water?
Yeah.
Henry?
Yeah, please.
All right, I'll get some.
Oh, boy, living onions. That sure smells great, huh?
Yeah. I can't take those onions so well. They repeat on me.
Not me. I can eat anything.
Salt and pepper?
Yeah, thanks. Boy, I'm sure hungry. I haven't eaten much today. Did you get a sandwich made with rye bread?
Graham bread.
Oh, you should have gotten the rye. Real German rye bread. Here. Smell that. Real nice and fresh. Here you go. Ben?
No, thanks.
Oh, thank you. You know, all that talk really sharpened up my appetite. Boy, this food tastes good.
Mm-hmm. Sugar, Joe?
Yeah, thanks.
We brought a pencil along, Henry. You want to start taking notes?
As good a time as any, I guess. You know, the whole thing just comes right back to what I was trying to tell you there in the office.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, you know, all about those phony mystery stories.
Oh, yeah.
Every time there's trouble, there's a big reason behind it. It's phony, that's all.
Yeah?
Sure, this Paul Davis, for instance. I guess I knew you'd find me out. I knew this morning when you picked me up. You had it figured. Must have been a big job, huh? Finding me?
Mm-hmm. Pretty big, Henry, you know. A lot of mileage. How'd it happen?
Well, there again. Just like I was saying. There's no big reason behind it. I needed a few bucks when Miss Davis came along. I guess he was it. All right, pass me a ketchup, will you?
Oh, yeah. Now, here you are.
I'll get the lid off there.
There you go.
Thanks.
Where'd you meet Davis, Henry?
Oh, I was hitchhiking out on Ventura. Not a dime in my jeans. I was going up to Maricopa. I thought I had a job up there, and Miss Davis come along. Picked me up.
Mm-hmm. You ever known him before that?
No, a stranger. He said he's going to Oakdale. The guy give me a ride.
Go ahead.
Well, we stopped for gas at San Fernando, and I saw he had a few bucks in his wallet, and I guess that's when I got the idea.
About what?
Killing him. Now, maybe that gives you an idea what I was talking about. You don't need any big reason to kill somebody. Davis said, 18 bucks. Now, suppose I told that to a writer. Somebody killing the guy for 18 bucks. That wouldn't make much sense, huh? He'd tell you it'd never sell. You need $1 million, beautiful woman, good motive.
Yeah. Where'd you kill him, Henry?
Just outside of Bakersfield. Little canyon there. I got Davis to buy a fifth of sherry in Bakersfield. He drank some on the way. Hey, pass the salt, huh?
Yeah. There you are.
Thanks. Liver's no good without plenty of salt.
How'd you kill Davis, Henry?
Well, that's a funny thing. He drank some of the wine, got a little sleepy. I was just outside of Bakersfield. Dark by that time. I spotted this little canyon. I figured it's as good a place as any.
Well?
So I guess him pull off to a side road and had a few more drinks. I spotted this little shack out there in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly where was this, Henry?
Well, I can show you. It's maybe 2 miles north of Bakersfield. We got to the shack, finished the wine, and went to sleep.
Both of you?
Mm-hmm. And that's where the funny part comes in. I guess I killed Davis, all right. But I didn't mean it. Oh, brother, get a whiff of that, huh? Why do these monks have to mop up while people are eating?
They'll be through in a minute, Henry.
Fine.
How'd you mean, Henry, you didn't mean to kill him? You already told us you had the idea.
Well, sure I had the idea. Let me explain, huh? We both went to sleep in the shack, Davis and me. Guess that must have been, about 9 o'clock at night. I don't know what it was. Maybe the wine, I guess, but I started having nightmares. Yeah, now maybe this part sounds like a story, but it's the truth. I had all these dreams. I woke up, but they're still there.
What was that?
Faces. Faces. That's all I could see. It was full of faces. I guess I was really still asleep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I picked up a 2x4 and started swinging at them, their faces. Funny thing, too, I knew every one of these faces.
How do you mean?
People I killed. There were only a dozen of them, really, but it seemed like there were 100 of them all around in the air. Well, I grabbed that 2x4 and I started swinging. I was cold and sweating all at the same time, and I kept on swinging. And I saw Davis's face, and I swung hard, kept swinging. Didn't even make a sound. His eyes closed, kept on swinging at his head. Well, I come to, there he was, lying on the floor. Seemed to take those other faces away. They didn't bother me after I killed Davis.
What'd you do with him, Henry?
Oh, pulled him outside the shack, dug a hole and buried him. Burned his clothes, took his car and money, and drove off. I'll show you if you like where I buried him, I mean.
How about these other men, Ross? These faces you saw?
Oh. What if I get a little more coffee? Huh? It's all gone.
I'll get it. Joe?
No, thanks. None for me. What about it, Ross? The other men?
Well, I don't recall them too well. It's what you said in the office. 10 or 12 of them. A couple in Sacramento, the others down through the valley. Like I say, there was no big reason for killing them. It just happened that way, that's all.
What'd you do with them, you remember?
Generally, yeah. There's one of them that stands out. Guy by the name of Slattery, some kind of salesman, a real crybaby.
Where'd this happen?
No, he picked me up in his car outside of Chowchilla. It's nighttime. He must be feeling pretty good. I made him stop on a side road. I hit him with a piece of angler, and he cried like a baby. Buried him in a field there. It is one of the faces that I saw. That's funny, huh? It shows you how psychology works, huh?
Yeah, what'd you do with his car, Slattery's, I mean?
Drove it down to Mexico and sold it there. I guess that's what I should have done with Davis's gun.
Here you go.
Oh, thanks.
These killings of yours, you got any more you want to tell us about?
Well, I told you already. 10 or 12 of them. They're pretty much the same.
When was the first one?
Oh, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago. The first one wasn't any harder than the last. It's just like I was telling you before.
Yeah.
Everybody builds up murder. It's supposed to be a big thing, hard to do, all those phony stories. I'd just hit a guy a couple of times or something, that'd be it. A real small thing. Didn't change me any. That's why I say it's all built up.
You ever been treated for any mental sickness, Ross?
No, why?
You ever been examined by a psychiatrist?
No.
After you killed these men, did it bother you at all?
I just that wondering. Time I was with Davis. That's about it. Sure good meal, Sergeant. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. You ready, Ben?
Let's go. We'll go back upstairs, huh?
Yeah. Do you want to give us a statement?
All right. I had an idea you'd find me. I guess I always knew that you'd find me.
Well, let's go, Henry.
Guess I proved my point anyway, huh? It's all build up.
Huh?
Murder. Killing somebody. Those phony stories. It's all build up. It's cheap.
No, you got it wrong, Henry.
Huh?
Wait till they read you the bill.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On January 7th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, the makers of Fatima have done everything possible to produce the kind of cigarette you want, just as we on Dragnet try to bring you the kind of entertainment you want. In my honest opinion, Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes. But frankly, my opinion doesn't count because Fatimas must please you. That's why I suggest you buy a pack of Fatimas tomorrow, so you can prove to yourself that Fatimas are extra mild, with a rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll find Fatima now costs the same as other long cigarettes. And I'm convinced that you'll discover what I did. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Henry Ellsworth Ross was tried and found guilty on 2 counts of murder in the first degree and received the death sentence. While he indicated that he had murdered the other 10 men, he refused to give any further information regarding the killings or what he had done with the bodies. Ross was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Now more excitement with Counter Spy on NBC.